and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring the Game 7 back to Sacramento. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks' comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. The Celtics win tonight. They will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Hawks win. They will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, or they will pick in the third round. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Chris and company with Whitey and Watkins.
Yeah, make no mistake. This series is not over. I know it kind of feels like it. Great to be back with you, Chris Watkins. This is Chris and company, Whitey and Watkins. Glad you're with us. Woo! It was tough to watch last night for this reason. Fourth quarter, the Kings hanging on. And, of course, fourth quarter Fox was a no-show because of presumably the fractured finger. So if you watch the game on TNT as I did, Chris, they took a timeout late in the game, and they had a promo for the NBA app. And on the promo, they show the what was called, it's a documentary they have, Pass the Rock. And so it's a promo for Pass the Rock, the De'Aaron Fox episode. So they take a timeout. We'll be right back to Sacramento. Then they show De'Aaron Fox there, and he says, fourth quarter, that's my time. Last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And it was so sad because we're watching the game, and it's like clearly that Fox could not be there. And then it's like to rub it in, they're showing us, remember all these things he did this year? Yeah, that's the guy that, boy, it sure be useful to have him right now. It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Credit to the Warriors. I know they're the champs, the experience showing. But that was a tough fourth quarter to get through last night with De'Aaron Fox not able to do what he's done all year long.
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch, and you have to assume first things first. First things first. Welcome back, Whitey. Good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second thing second. It was really disappointing to see, just especially because of how good of a start De'Aaron got off to. I'm sure everybody in that building, he was 3 of 3 from 3 in that first quarter. There was all the questions were answered. Everyone's feeling good. Clearly, the talks of De'Aaron's demise were greatly overstated. And as the game went on, you started to see what I suspect was the effects of his injury. Kind of just, as time went on, sure, at the beginning of the game, you get all the treatment, your finger's freshly wrapped. I'm sure that's when the painkillers you're taking are at their full strength. And then, the finger gets knocked around a little bit sometimes throughout the game. Mm-hmm. And then my concern leading into it was, okay, well, sure, going into the game, he'll feel fine. But once that thing gets banged once, how's that going to feel? And how's it going to recover? And how will he deal with the pain? There was no visible signs of, De'Aaron in pain. Never saw him shake his hand or go grab that finger at any point. But, when you look at the numbers, it's pretty clear that just as that game went on, especially in that fourth quarter where he was 0 of 6, you have to chalk it down to his finger. I mean, we've seen De'Aaron Fox step up in those moments all season long, and for him to completely score no points in that fourth quarter, and that second half he was 3 of 12 from the field. That's not the guy that we've seen all season long. And so the most logical conclusion I can draw is clearly that finger had to have been bothering him.
That's playoff basketball. I may or may not have been watching the game last night with someone who may or may not be a Warrior fan, and that person may or may not be my wife. But anyway, and I think we've set a good example. We're getting along here through these games. But she noticed there was a play, I think it was late third or early fourth, and Fox was trailing Steph, and from behind he poked the ball out of bounds. And it was a nice play, but it looked like he got the ball right on the finger, and it seemed like after that he just was ineffective. I know the Warriors, after the game last night, they all talked about it. Clay didn't want to hear about the injured finger. He didn't say that, but it was apparent from the way he
Right.
responded to questions. The Warriors felt like they did a really good job on De'Aaron Fox. I think both things can be true, and I think both things are.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And De'Aaron, he's got you're right. This is playoff basketball. This is part of it. Ja Morant's dealing with a similar thing with his busted hand, and you got to fight through it. The Warriors, like you said, Klay's not going to feel bad for you. They're not going to make any excuses. You just have to fight through it, and everyone's dealing with their own things. But it's just disappointing, and overall it sucks that it had to happen in such an important game. And all you can do is try and get ready for the next game, and hope that he gets better and makes the proper adjustments. Maybe that finger needs to be wrapped a little more. Maybe they need to, I don't know how they treated it throughout the game. I don't know if he was getting treatment at halftime or anything, but maybe that's something they look into. But clearly, that he was bothered, and Golden State did a good job. Me and Kyle were talking in the days leading up to this. How would Golden State defend him? Would they give him that Sabonis treatment where they sag off of him and dare him to shoot? We didn't see that.
They couldn't, because he showed him early on, to the point you already made.
Absolutely.
Like, boom, you don't want to do that because I'll knock that down.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, plates went crazy.
It did. It was nuts. How about that? To start the game off, I thought it was huge for the Kings to get off to a good start, because, with all the questions, and, especially with when De'Aaron was doubtful, it was, the crowd, the fan base was down and feeling like, oh boy, this is just the beginning of the end here. And it was good to see the crowd get into it early. They didn't have to, try and, they weren't out of the game for 3 quarters and then got into it late. Like that was a really entertaining game. It's just disappointing that they couldn't play well enough to get the result. But,
it doesn't feel great right now,
attention.
does it? I mean, obviously when the Kings were up 2-0, it's like, wow, we got some real exciting possibilities here. And now they go back to Chase Center to try to tie the series. It just, if I'm honest, it just didn't feel real good right now.
Yeah, no. You're down 3-2 against the defending champs.
Yeah.
Heading into their home where they've only lost 8 times all season long. It's a tough task. It's a really tough ask, and it's no one said it was going to be easy. The Kings were up, but this is also why it was so important for them to come out in that game 3 and treat it like it was an elimination game. It was, if they could have taken care of business early, they wouldn't be in this situation now. So it's tough. It's not going to be easy. You're going against the team that has been through it all, and they've shown their experience and what
defending champs, for crying out loud.
Exactly. They showed why they are who they are, and they've been incredibly resilient. And obviously we're speaking more from the King side of things, but on the Golden State side, they've also made a lot of good adjustments, and for them to be able to go get that win on the road, I think this is the 24th straight series or whatever that they've won a road game.
Whatever.
It's just like, this is what these guys do, and the Kings, if they, it's not over. It's also not over. Again, it doesn't feel good, but it's not over. The Kings still do have a chance. But those chances are getting really smaller and smaller as the series continues to go on.
Here's the thing with the Kings, and this has been the case all year long, and they've had a great year no matter what happens from here. But all year long, they've struggled defensively. And to me, when you can't defend in basketball at any level, but especially at the highest level, every game's like a box of chocolates, because you don't know what you're going to get. If you're not able to defend. What's going to happen? And I think, to me, the Warriors are playing with a great deal of confidence now. They know that they can score. They know that they have mismatches here and there and there
and everywhere.
Mark Jones said something really interesting today when he was on with, it was Jay Ross with Dave Wigglin's show. He said, I'm wondering how you feel about this. He said it's more what the Warriors are doing than anything the Kings are not doing right now. You agree with that?
No, honestly, I don't. I think it is more in my opinion. I didn't
think you did. That's why I asked you.
With the caveat of I have been watching this, obviously we're a station here in Sacramento. I'm watching it more from the Sacramento side, but in my opinion, this has just came down to Sacramento Kings not executing and not being the team that got them here. And, for sure, the Warriors deserve a good amount of credit for how they've made Sacramento adjust. It's been talked about ad nauseum here, how the Warriors have all but negated the Kings dribble handoff game, which was paramount to their offense all season long. Domantas Sabonis getting other guys involved. And, we're seeing the ripple effects of that being taken away right now. But at the same time, the Kings are getting a lot of open looks. Kevin Huerter continues to not knock down triples. Keegan Murray finally starts to play well and then completely disappears the final 3 quarters. I don't know where Harrison Barnes is. I mean, I think for the first half of yesterday's game, didn't have a single point. Thought he had a really good third quarter when the Kings were struggling to score, got to the line, I think three different times in that third quarter, but just not enough. I really feel like if, and again, it could be credit to the Warriors for understanding you're not going to stop De'Aaron Fox, but there's other guys that you can take out, and that really affects the game. But man, in my opinion, it's just them not hitting open shots that they're given, and also allowing Kevon Looney to look like Dennis Rodman here. When Kevon Looney, again, very, very solid player, underrated, and we're seeing exactly why now, or how underrated he is now. But there's no reason for Kevon Looney to have 2 games in the series with 20 plus rebounds. They just haven't done a good enough job of executing and paying attention to the little things, which the Warriors, of course, speaking to their experience, they know that, they need to do those little things and clean up. They've cleaned up their turnovers. They've cleaned up all the things that were the reasons why they lost those 2 games. We haven't seen that Warriors team since they left Golden 1 the first time.
Yeah, Looney's rebounding, one of the 2 things that's just really hard to watch. Looney's a great story. One of the reasons the Warriors drafted Wiseman when they did was because Looney looked like there were some questions as to whether he could keep playing with his injuries at the time, and he's rebuilt himself physically. He had 22 rebounds last night, 7 offensive. That's surprising to me because watching the game, it seemed like he had at least 50 offensive.
It felt like
if there's a missed shot, well, I know he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
And if it wasn't him, it was Gary Payton II.
Yeah.
Who had 4, I think he had 4 offensive rebounds in that game. And there was a couple that were uncontested rebounds where it was just like, okay, maybe they're putting too much attention on Looney and just let GP2 get a couple easy putbacks. And it's just the little small things that lead to the Kings not winning this game. We've talked about the possession game.
Well, the turnovers by the Kings last night was dreadful.
It was not great.
You can't, you have a slim opportunity here to knock off the defending champs and take a series lead. You got to take care of the basketball.
Right.
I mean, you got to hope they don't take care of the ball. That's one of your few avenues to victory. And then when you're going to turn it over 19 times, and I'm sure Fox's finger had something to do with that, but you're going to lose. If you turn the ball over 19 times against the Warriors, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. You need the Warriors to be the one committing that level of turnovers. And they did a good job at the start of the game. I mean, I think the Warriors had 4 or 5 turnovers in that first quarter. It felt like the momentum was shifting towards the Kings. It was like, okay, the Warriors are doing all the things that you would want. The Kings were hitting shots, 8 of 12 in that first quarter, and then they just couldn't sustain it. So it was a really tough loss. And you point out the turnovers, 11 combined turnovers from De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, your 2 main guys. It's just not going to be good enough to get it done. And Malik Monk, who also had the ball in his hand a good amount, 3 turnovers. Davion Mitchell, 2 turnovers, including 1 at really the most inopportune time in the late fourth quarter. So just not enough execution down the stretch.
We're still doing the autopsy here with your help. Aside from Fox's finger, what hurt the Kings the most last night? That's next. Kristen Company, Whitey and Watkins.
It's Cattles and Rami.
And now we get this De'Aaron Fox news. Before I get to your thoughts, Rami, and how this impacts the series, it's rather obvious. It absolutely impacts this series. What I don't want us to do, I don't want to take calls saying I fractured my finger in 1998 and I was okay. I went to work.
I went to the YMCA. I put up 20 in 3-on-3.
Fractured my index finger when I was in high school, still dropped 30. I don't want that.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the best Superstart battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local is Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Chris and Company. I'll tell you what, we'll get through this together right after a tough loss last night.
Yeah.
Really, especially dispiriting, I think, because the Kings started this series off so well, and now all of a sudden, I thought, Chris, you could even see it in the Kings' eyes a little bit. All of a sudden, after this brilliant season, this brilliant start to the series, now all of a sudden you gotta look at the reflection of your own mortality a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know what? This isn't going great, and they'd been so sky high, and we'd all been so sky high. Today, in some ways, kind of a day of reckoning.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it ain't over yet.
It's not over yet, but you're completely right in the sense of playoffs just have a weird way of really exposing your warts in the most obvious way possible. Like when you're in the thick of a playoff series, especially the later and later it gets, we're now heading towards a game 6. Again, still potential for this thing to go 7. You know, teams start to figure out your weak spots and really start to attack it. And you know, the thing that's there's been a lot of revelations that I've had, the main of which being that Davion Mitchell is not the, you know, I would have told you after the regular season that the Kings probably would need to look at a different guy for their backup point guard position. But after Davion's performance this postseason, I'm incredibly pleased with that. I have questions about, you know, Keegan Murray and where he needs to go with his development. Kevon Huerter, can we trust him in this role moving forward? I know he's kind of had a lesser role in Atlanta.
I think this is just a terrible matchup for Huerter.
It could be
Clay.
It could be.
I think that's part of the problem.
It could be.
Plus, he's not. You know, I mean, he'd been an effective player, but he hadn't been like an all-star or anything.
Right.
He has issues. He's not a great defender.
Right.
And if
That's
he's not
very
making
clear.
his shots, it's like, well, all right, how are you going to help us, Kev?
Right. And also last night, yeah, I completely agree. You could see that Golden State is just attacking. Whenever someone is matched up on Kevon Huerter or Keegan Murray, they're going to try and take them to the rack or just expose them and try and cross them and hit a 3. It's became very evident that the Kings, we knew that defense was going to be a problem, but they just need more general foot speed. It feels like that a lot of times they just have too many guys, especially when, you know, just in their starting lineup, Sabonis, Huerter, and Keegan are all guys that it feels like Golden State is rubbing their hands every time that they can get those guys matched up on any of their main guys.
Warriors sliced them up in the half court in the second half with backdoor cuts. The
Oh,
Kings, you can assume, you know, they're overplaying the 3-point line, and the Warriors just made the adjustment that maybe in some ways the Kings aren't capable, at least not yet, of making. Draymond Green was, he was incredible. I mean, you look at reasons we asked the question, aside from Fox's finger, what hurt the Kings the most last night? Draymond Green was better than Sabonis last night, and it wasn't even close.
No,
and that's bad for you.
Draymond was incredible last night. I mean, 21. I have some numbers here. Draymond, 21 points last night. That's a season high. Hasn't had that many all year. Last time Draymond had a 20-point game, Christmas Day, 2019.
2019.
Last time Draymond had 21 plus in a regular season or postseason. I'm sorry. Last time Draymond Green had 21 plus in a playoff game was May 4th, 2017, which is a round 2, game 2 versus Utah, which was en route to their second NBA championship. So Draymond Green has not had a scoring night like the one he had last night in a very, very long time, which you had to know once Draymond was going like the way he was. Once he hit that 3 too, it was like, this is not a good sign for the Kings tonight.
Right. And to his credit, to their credit, that was an adjustment to the fact that the Kings were saying, go ahead, Draymond, we're not going to guard you.
Yeah.
And he's made them pay for that. Even the last game, what was he, 3 for 14 or whatever? I have it. And he realized there's a lot of shots there that I could have made. So last
7
night,
missed layups.
Yeah, he made the Kings pay for that. So
yeah, and I think you're right too in pointing out that it did feel like, and I heard I think it was De'Aaron talking about it in his post game, that it does feel like that they're maybe overcommitting a little bit to stopping the Warriors 3-point shooting, and with that came a lot of, I mean, they're running that high pick and roll to death with Looney and Steph, and a couple different times they blitzed Steph off of that pick and roll, got it to Looney, and then it was just pretty much a 2-on-1
tic-tac-toe.
And
boom, boom.
Looney, they're just way too experienced. They're way too good, because frankly, that's how a lot of teams guard them. And so that they're now so used to getting from that action to this action that they, once they get into that 2-on-1 situation, all of those guys, Looney, Draymond, Wiggins, they all know how to play that situation so well. And that's how they get those lobs and easy looks for their guys in the dunker spot. It's just, again, once you saw Draymond was going off the way he was, you had to know it was going to be a long night.
How much of this do you think is about experience and inexperience, and not to try to, put lipstick on a pig of a loss, but we know that there was a coach anonymously who said before this series started in The Athletic that teams have to go through some of this. The Kings are going to have to go through some of this. They don't know what to expect. You have to go through those playoff growing pains.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Who was it last night? Was it Draymond saying before the game, we talked about how this is a game 5, and game 5s are huge, and we've been through them, and they've never been through that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we thought that would maybe be an issue with game 1, but the Kings were like, first 2 games, the Kings didn't look inexperienced at all.
Right.
Last night, I thought maybe some of that championship pedigree / Kings postseason experience, I thought maybe that was a big factor last night.
Yeah, it feels like every time the series gets close is once experience comes into hand, right? It's like, that first game, understanding the emotions of that game, making sure that you're, properly settled and not into the moment too much. It's big then. Kind of doesn't come into a factor until a game like last night, game 5, the series almost resets. It's almost like another game 1 where you have to know that game 1, 5, and 7 are really the ones that are played differently than any other game, just because the emotions and the importance of those games and setting the tone is so huge that, it felt like Golden State, they just know how to handle themselves in all of these moments. And, Golden State got into foul trouble with a lot of their guys. Looney had 4, Draymond had 4, Wiggins had 5, Clay had 5. All of that is a really scary situation to be in on the road, for none of those guys to foul out and for them to pull through and hit the shots that they hit down the stretch as well, when the Kings were turning the ball over left and right and just taking tough shots. To me, that the end of the game was when I really was like, man, these guys are just, they've been here, done that, and they are not worried, and they were able to overcome Kings leads, 10-point lead in the first quarter. Never really got worried, and Golden State just continually chipped away at the lead, and then down the stretch they just hit some really, really tough shots.
The thing that drove me crazy was not just the number of turnovers, which was way too high. And I know these things happen, and it's always easier sitting there watching TV, but it wasn't just the number of turnovers, it was the nature of the totally unforced turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Dribbling in traffic, losing the ball. Sabonis gets the ball, he's driving against Looney, and he brings the ball with one hand and flings it out of bounds.
Right.
It's like, what was that? And then he looks at the official like, hey, and you see the replay, there was no foul there.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't do that against the champs.
No.
It's basketball, it happens, but a lot of those turnovers were totally unforced.
Yes. Yeah, and Mike Brown talked about that as well, where it's just like you're looking for the foul instead of looking to try and score, and they just they were attacking the rim, and every time that the Kings are in the paint, it feels like, and this is not because De'Aaron Fox's finger, but every single time Golden State is swiping at the ball every time the Kings are in the paint, and they just have to do a better job of fight. That is also experience, just Golden State knowing, like, hey, this is how playoff basketball is played. You swipe at the ball, you play through it. And the Kings were just too many times looking for the refs to bail them out, especially at home. You feel like you're going to get a good whistle. And I thought the Kings, I saw a lot of people complaining about the whistle. I thought it was a really fair whistle. If anything, I would say it leaned towards Sacramento's favor. I was not a fan of how they just executed down the stretch. Just a lot of really, really dumb mistakes and a couple really, really bad shots that I think really ended up sinking it for him.
Let's just address the officiating quickly.
Yes.
It was going to come up. You brought it up. I'm with you. I don't think the Kings have much to complain about. You can always isolate one play here or there, but fourth quarter, as Magic used to say, win in time. Last night in the fourth quarter, personal fouls, the Warriors committed 8. The Kings were whistled for 3. Free throws last night, fourth quarter. The Warriors were 2 for 3. The Kings were 9 for 10. So I don't think I can say, oh, it's the officials, they ripped off the Kings last night.
Yeah, completely.
I don't think that happened.
I don't think so either. And just to add to that, there was 2 transition take calls, both in the Kings' favor. They also called an incredibly strange, I don't think I've ever seen an out of bounds screen called before, and that led to
a good call.
It was a great call. It was a great call. I've just never seen it made before, especially not in a playoff game. So again, I didn't have issue with the officials last night. I thought they were fine.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Where's your purple faithometer right now? The Kings and the rest of this series. You can be honest here.
I'm not good at. I was never good at the color wheel, so it's like more of like a magenta, right? Like,
I see. You're not all the way purple yet. Oh, I like
see?
the way you're going.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of a very almost like a paisley, like not.
I'll have to look at the color wheel. Yeah.
So we've got that coming up, and the schedule the rest of the way. It doesn't favor Sacramento coming up next. Chris and company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune into Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
At Game Time Sports Bar and Grill in Oroville, we know that you want to experience all the biggest games and fights of the season in larger-than-life detail on our 22-foot screen.
Bigger is better.
We have a fresh, tasty menu, and don't forget about our self-serve tap wall. Get in on the best action at Game Time Sports Bar and Grill. Bigger screens, tastier food and drinks, and the liveliest gaming experience around. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The wait is over. Maida Subaru has a great selection of new Subarus in stock, more arriving daily, and big savings on all of them. And you can see all the savings at MaidaSubaru.com. So what are you waiting for?
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sacramento. You can listen to tomorrow night's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round unless there is a trade. The Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, where they will pick in the third round. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Thanks for being with us today. Interesting thoughts, as always, on the YouTube chat. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll get back to the phones in just a moment. Would love to know how you're feeling in terms of your purple faithometer right now. Where are you? I know this is a tough day to feel great about this Kings season. This is probably the worst day of the season so far, right? Today is the worst day so far of this incredible season.
Yeah, by far. Definitely haven't felt this down in probably since legitimately the start of the season when the Kings lost 4 straight to start the season. Obviously, the Kings have now lost 3 in a row. They lost 4 in a row to start the season, 4 in a row to end the regular season, now trying to avoid losing 4 in a row to end their postseason. It's their backs are to the wall. Mike Brown said yesterday that their backs have been to the wall all season long, and that's kind of how they've treated it. But this is a different beast. Again, like, this is also not being down 3-2 against any other regular degular team. This is, again, the defending champions, the guys who have been through every kind of situation, and now have even added to that list, being down 0-2 for the first time in a series. These guys have been through it all. They've seen it all. You had to know that at some point they were going to wake up. And we've been saying it all series long. If the Kings want to kill these guys, they got to cut the head off clean. And we're seeing right now just how difficult it is to really eliminate these guys. As even at Golden One Center, the Kings couldn't take down the Warriors last night.
The games, hopefully we're still talking about games, we'll see come fast and furious now, games, which could favor a younger team like the Kings. On the YouTube chat, and I don't know if this is sarcasm that I'm missing from Kingpin Pepe, says McNair got an extension. We're stuck with this bum. And maybe that's a joke.
I'm taking it as a joke.
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. AC joins us. AC, you're on with Whitey and Watkins. How you feeling today? What's your faith level at, if I may ask?
It's good night Kings is my level.
Oh no.
Whoa. So I don't know. There's lots of people that would disagree with this, including the coach, and he's the one that makes the calls and stuff. But I think the Kings should seat Sabonis and Fox, let them sit out their injuries and try to put up a little fight with what we got left. But the question I have for you guys, and the reason I called, is why did why did Harrison Barnes not go to the line? The Kings were the Warriors were in the penalty. The Harrison Barnes takes a charge. Why don't you go to the line in that situation? Help me with that.
Well, on offensive, if you
don't shoot free throws.
You don't shoot free throws on an offensive foul. If you are the defending team.
Oh, okay. It was a foul. I was just thinking foul straight up, and I was like, hey, the Warriors are in the penalty. Kings should be at the line. But anyway.
There you go. There's your answer. Yeah. Appreciate it. Wow.
That's a bold choice.
Being honest.
Did he just say he wants to bench Sabonis and Fox for Game 6?
Yeah.
Is that the suggestion?
He's already given up.
He said wave the white flag completely.
He said, good night, Kings. Yeah, bench Fox, bench Sabonis.
They're going to have a whole summer to rest. They can play one more game. I'm going to say that Fox and Sabonis, regardless of how their hands are feeling, I think that they can at the least go for one more game before we sit them for the rest of the season. So
Garrett, what's up? You're on with Watkins and Whitey. How you doing today, Garrett?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good to hear from you.
So I had called the Carmichael Dave show. It was the day after it had clinched the reminiscing about the last time they were in and how everyone was so excited. And I had called in and I said, we need to remember this day. The day after we clinched, when it was like, oh my God, we did it. and we're all talking about it. We're all excited and we're happy. We need to remember that day. No matter what happens in this round of the playoffs, we're playing against the team that won last year, the team that have won, I think it's 4 in the last 8 years. We're playing against them, and we got them on the ropes at one point, and we had them fighting for it, and we've been putting up a good fight. No matter what happens, this round has been amazing. This has been amazing to watch, and I'm so proud of this team. Go Kings. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Garrett. I'll
Love
tell
that.
you, to your point, that's one of the reasons I was feeling a little verklempt last night is because, this thing's ending. This series is going to be over. And, of course,
Hey,
if the
now.
Kings find a way to – no,
Could
one
be.
way or the other, it's going to be over
Yes.
one way or the other.
Right.
Of course, if the Kings advance, that's great. If they don't, then, man, it's all over. I mean, I love every basketball game. I mean, if there's kids, down the street and they're playing 3-on-3,
Right.
like, ooh, I'm going to go watch.
I'm gonna commentate
this
that.
series, yeah. I mean, the Kings and the Warriors has been great.
Yeah.
And then you see last night, wow, this thing is, we knew it. All things must
Right.
pass. That's one of the reasons this is a kind of a difficult morning in some ways.
Yeah, no, I think if Golden State wins on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, I think the next round starts on Sunday, which would be that might not be the case anymore with the Lakers and Grizzlies going to Game 5, but I'm pretty sure that there was the turnout. Like, there's not even time to really reminisce about this
I
series
think it would
if they
depend
advance.
on what happens in the other series.
I think so
They
as
could
well.
still be
Yes.
playing a
Yes.
seventh game.
Right. That's
Yeah.
also true. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But to Garrett's point there, I've been saying it as well that, this is all icing on top of the cake at this point. The Kings were not meant to be in this situation. We all know that nobody projected these guys to get 48 wins this year. Nobody projected these guys to be a top 3 seed. No one even projected them really to be a playoff team. And so Garrett's completely right in the sense of we cannot forget this has been an incredibly fun series. Obviously, as a competitor, the Kings, this should be the norm now. They should want to be competitive. That's the baseline that they should try and have moving forward in playoffs is to be competitive every single year, but can't lose sight of the fact this is year 1. This is a great building block to move on from. No matter what happens, they can win the rest of these games. That would just add to the magic of this season. But even if the Kings get blown out by 30, 40 points in Game 6, we can't forget all of the things along this season, including winning the first 2 games at home in the first 2 games, playoff games that this team has had in 16 seasons. We can't forget about those moments. And you have to take a step back when all of this is over, whenever that may be, whatever round that this thing comes to an end, and you have to just acknowledge how incredible of a season it was, regardless of how it ends.
Enjoy it right now because expectations are coming next season.
Bro. Expectations will be
you're right.
Hurt so
You're
much.
right. Garrett's right. Christopher Lod's right. It's just hard today after that last night. This is a tough day to say, oh, yeah, this has been great.
But in a vacuum,
know that. It's just, that's where you want to get to.
For sure. But I think it's important to remember that in a day like today, because today is a day where you feel so down in the dumps. You heard AC say the series is over. Night. Might as well not even play our guys in Game 6. That's not the attitude to have. Again, series isn't over, but even if it is, this is a great season. We shouldn't look back with, I know Sabonis has struggled. I know Huerter has struggled. Those are all things that we can address next season.
By the way, can you imagine, Chris, if Mike Brown says, hey, Domantas, Darren, I heard a guy,
I watched the film last night.
AC on with the, Watkins and Whitey, and he had a great idea. We're not going to play.
Yeah.
There might be a fist fight.
I think it's better if we just not
without
play you
thumbs.
guys. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
I will say,
Tough
as
sell.
amazing as a home crowd has been through the first 3 games, if it gets to Game 7 here, that's going to be all out insanity.
Look out.
Yeah.
Look out.
So I'll tell Warriors, make sure to end it tomorrow.
Yes, 100%. Chris is
they would
so
never,
right.
Yeah, they would never admit that ever, but that's definitely on their mind.
I will say, whatever I'm going to say. I don't think the crowd was that excellent last night. Maybe that's to standards of games 1 and 2. it just didn't have that energy that it felt like those first two games had. And I wonder why that is. I think a game 7, there's no doubt in my mind that a game 7 would have a completely different energy. But, I did the live stream after the game last night as well, and kind of said the same thing. And a lot of people who were even in the building agreed with me as well. So that was just a really weird thing that I definitely noticed last. I mean,
it was
hard
packed.
To
maintain.
It was
Maybe that's just it's impossible to keep it at that, especially game
sure.
1.
I mean, game 1, you're right. The emotions leading I think you just can't match the emotions leading into that game 1, right? I mean, that game 1, there was so much history, quite literally, behind that game that you had to know that it was a Sunday as well. Like the energy was going to be different. I will say also, to that same point, game 3 in Golden State was not nearly as crazy as game 4, which was also on a weekend. So maybe there's something just about those weekend crowds that bring something out of people.
I know a lot of people on the YouTube chat especially are asking about Kessler Edwards and why isn't he playing more for Keegan? And that's something that I had been wondering about myself. My only assumption it has to be that there's something that Coach Brown knows that would not be a great matchup. I mean, it makes sense to me. Wow, the way Keegan has struggled. Obviously, last couple of games he's been better, especially the previous game. But if Kessler Edwards isn't playing more, Mike Brown must have a really good idea that it would not be a good idea to play him more.
Yeah, I think
no matter what you think or I think watching, because he knows better than us.
Yeah, I think defensively is where we could use Kessler, but I'm not sure that that's really what the team needs right now, because Kessler is also somebody who he's a big variable in terms of his shooting. Like, I don't know if, especially with how the Kings are already missing shots, I guess maybe you could say, well, we're already missing, might as well put somebody in who can also, possibly add to that, or, maybe he'll be a detractor to it. But I don't know if Kessler Edwards is necessarily the solution that the Kings need. I wouldn't mind seeing him sprinkled in a couple minutes, but also I would say the fact that Terrence Davis isn't playing with how terribly the Kings have shot, I would suspect that TD is probably more up on the list than Kessler is.
I'm with you, but given how well Mike Brown knows his own players and how well he knows the Warriors, I'm sure he has a really good reason why he's not playing Kessler Edwards more.
I think
that's as hard as it is really for us to understand. Why don't you play Kessler Edwards?
Right. He's also a young guy. Only people, obviously Kings fans only knew Kessler Edwards for the second half of last season, but this is only his second year in the NBA. So he's still a really young guy, really raw prospect.
And we get carried away with the new guys when they come in and make a few shots. Right. Like, that's great. Play him more. Right. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What's your confidence level like today? Also coming up, Giannis answers a question, a very difficult question that I think applies to Kings fans today as well. That's all coming up next. It's Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The summer's heating up with some of your favorite country stars at Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's.
Featuring country's biggest stars.
Dirk Bentley's Gravel and Gold Tour, Friday, August 4th. Sam Hunt's Summer on the Outskirts Tour, Sunday, August 13th. Darius Rucker's Starting Fires Tour, Saturday, August 19th. Kane Brown's Drunkard Dreaming Tour, Thursday, August 31st. And Friday, September 1st.
Don't miss these country all-stars plus more.
Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and ApeConcerts.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. We always have a great story in pitcher Mason Miller, diagnosed with juvenile diabetes in 2018. He got bigger and stronger, and by the time he made his big league debut on the last homestand against the Cubs, after only 28 2/3 innings in the minor leagues, he threw 15 pitches at 100 miles an hour or faster, topping out at 102.5.
Now batting, Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with incredibly fast and powerful supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers all the bases and then some. And strike out billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you safe at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity, proud partner of the Oakland Athletics. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
First round playoff coverage on Sactown Sports brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. Thanks for being with us today. We'll get through this together. This is Chris and Company. He's Watkins. I'm Whitey. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Giannis had some really interesting things to say about the Bucks collapse, some things that probably apply to where Kings fans are. We'll get to those in just a moment. First, let's talk to Will on Sactown Sports. Will, you're on with Chris and Whitey. What's going on?
Hey, fellas, I love you guys. Look, be gentle with me. I'm depressed this morning.
No worries. I got you.
We're here for you.
Very depressed. Our problem is, our players have to go to acting school like the Warriors. A lot of these guys, they force the referees. They force referees to make calls, man, and we have to do that too. And then on the defensive side, our bigs, just the reaction to the balls, loose balls, are very, very, very bad. Like Sabonis and Alex. You gotta react to those loose balls, those offensive rebounds, and they gotta bang more, man. It's just like we don't get any second chance points under the basket. Second chance back, rebound. So we need to work on that. And then I agree with the guy who said I would use Kessler Edwards in certain spots. Nobody's saying, that he should play 40 minutes, but he's 6'8" and he's athletic. And he's used them during the season in some of those situations because it only takes 2 or 3 buckets in these last 2 games. 2 or 3 buckets either way would win those games. And Steph and Clay, just killing us on those switches. They're killing us, man. You know, I'm just depressed, man. I'm depressed.
All right, hang in there, Will. Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah, I don't know about the acting. I do know if you watch the games, you know Will is right when he talks about the reaction time of the Kings bigs. I mean, Kevon Looney, he already knows where the ball's going before it hits the rim. He's great at that, and then he gets to everything.
Yeah.
And Sabonis is not especially quick. He's never gonna be.
Not.
He's just not. He tries very hard defensively, but he's not very quick. And in that area, I mean, that's kind of a mismatch. Quickness, getting to the loose balls. Looney is dominating Sabonis right now.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of across the board too. Not even just specifically talking about reacting to rebounds, but it does feel like I kind of mentioned it earlier. Just the Kings lack a general lateral quickness. Like De'Aaron Fox, obviously one of, if not the fastest player in the league. But then when you look at the other guys, Huerter, pretty slow on his feet. You see him getting attacked all the time. HB, great athlete, but doesn't move very quick, very plodding, but not plodding, but just, very, even his Euro step is slow. He just kind of goes at his own pace. Keegan Murray, foot speed has been a huge thing all season long for him. And Domantas Sabonis, just again, a big guy, tries his ass off, but just can't always, give the necessary, isn't blessed with athleticism and quick feet like everybody else. So yeah, it's definitely something, again, like I mentioned earlier, the playoffs have a weird way of really exposing all of your weak spots. And clearly a really big weak spot for this Kings team is just speed. And
it's one of the reasons they're not a very good defensive team.
Right. It is just, they have a really tough time staying in front of guys. And the offensive rebounding thing, I think the Kings have actually been fairly decent. And when you consider how, I guess, slow they are to react to things, Sabonis last night, 5 offensive rebounds. I hear you on Alex Len. He's a bigger guy. You would hope that he could kind of dominate a little bit more.
Sabonis is getting destroyed on the YouTube chat today.
He is, yeah.
Some of it I'm not even reading because I know people are mad, they're frustrated, but some of it is, wow, get rid of Sabonis.
Yeah, it's definitely
surprising.
It's a little bit of an overreaction time right now. I think people are really a little bit too quick to forget about the regular season Sabonis. And
maybe you should have kept Halliburton. Okay, yeah, wow.
I don't think we would be in this position if we still had Tyrese Halliburton. So, I just, it's been I'm not gonna say Sabonis has been good. I wouldn't even say he's been good this postseason. He's definitely performed below his season, what you would expect after watching his regular season. There's been a couple games here where he's just flat out looked bad and looked like an average NBA center, not an all-star, not a guy who is probably going to be third team all NBA. He's looked tough. He's looked really, really rough at points in this series. I definitely have some questions about Sabonis in his fit in the future, but I'm not here to say trade Sabonis tomorrow. Oh, Sabonis is, he's definitely. It's also not him. Saying it's him is saying that
you're
it's
not
all
ready to
just
bench him for
him
Metu
playing. I'm definitely
okay.
I'm not touching Chimezie Metu in this situation, but I think he's definitely left a lot of room for improvement.
Matchup for him.
But it's
tough
also
matchup for a lot of Kings.
Got to acknowledge the fact that Golden State is making it tough for him too. It's not just all on him.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Tony joins us on Chris and Company. How you doing today, Tony? What's up?
I am good. I want to know why you guys are semi-waving the white flag.
No, not us. Not us. It's
just
not
acknowledging that things are looking a little more daunting than they were. That's all, Tony.
Yeah, but you got to trust the coach. You got to trust Coach Mike and the adjustments. We've not talked about those adjustments, that defensive, offensive adjustments that he's going to be making, and I think we need to trust him. Yeah, our back's against the wall, but it's not over. It is not over, and I think this is an opportunity. A lot of the pundits were picking the Kings to win this whole thing this year. They're picking them for a reason. And we need to trust that. We need to trust, you know what? We're not out of our backs against the wall. We're not done. Trust Coach. And don't ever, ever, ever quit.
Gotcha, Tony.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I don't know about all those pundits that were picking the Kings to win it all, but it's a good point, Tony.
It's not over.
One?
It is not. Yeah. I think it was Sean Marks was the only one who picked the Kings to beat the Warriors of all the ESPN
All right.
people.
It's just a tough day. It's probably
just
the darkest day of the season so far. We're just acknowledging
we're
that.
going to get to the adjustments at some point as well. We're still in the beginning stages of this show, of this program. We still got another 3 hours to talk about what needs to happen, but it's also the reality of the situation that, the team that wins when the series is tied at 2-2, the team that wins game 5 goes on to win 81% of the time. You can't ignore that fact. That gives the Kings about a 19-20% chance of historically, not chance, but 20%.
Right.
Historically, 20% of teams do go on. And we also can't forget, if I'm not mistaken, the Kings in the glory years when they were playing the Lakers won game 5 and then lost that series in 7. So
thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, sorry, but
I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. That should make you feel better, right?
Wow.
But it's more just it's definitely not over. But you have to accept the reality of the situation that the Kings definitely have their backs to the wall. And he mentions Mike Brown making adjustments. He's been making adjustments. It's just the Kings have still lost 3 in a row. It's clearly they are trending in a downward trajectory. They can obviously turn that around, and they have another game tomorrow. Steph Curry played 41 minutes last night. I'm pretty sure he could maybe be seeing the effects of that if this thing goes 7. But
don't you think, though, if we're being honest here, you and I are just talking.
We're just talking.
I mean, to this point, based on what we saw last night, right now where the series is, the Warriors have made the more significant adjustments. They are winning that. Whatever you want to call it, chess match.
Yes.
It's not fair because they don't have the same pieces to deploy here. But that's the thing about Mike Brown and his adjustments, and he did a lot of things that caught the Warriors by surprise. But at this point, I think the Warriors are the ones. Look at Draymond Green and the adjustment he made.
Right. They brought Draymond Green off the bench last 2
Draymond
games.
Nowitzki. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was crazy. That shot last night was absolutely absurd. But I do feel like, it feels like Golden State has made the proper adjustments and now also knows the right matchups to attack. And that's been the biggest difference. Is it feels like Golden State offensively has just gotten to the point where the Kings are really, really struggling to get multiple stops in a row. And the Kings offensively have just gone really quiet in points throughout this series, especially in the last 3 games.
You have to hear what Giannis had to say after the Bucks were dismissed. We've got that coming up for you. And what's job 1 for the Kings in game 6? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's Chris and Company, White and Watkins, Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
Better
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ram truck owners have heart for being fearless, determined, and bold. That's why it's time for you to be a Ram. Make the move to a 2023 Ram 1500 with optional features that take your ride to the next level, like an available multi-function tailgate and the available Ram Box Cargo Management System for versatile exterior storage, plus a premium audio system that turns every trip into an amazing music experience. Ram trucks, built to serve. See more of what Ram has to offer at ram.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value has increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made-in-the-USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
How did your roof fare in the recent storms? If there's signs of wear and tear, address it before the problem becomes bigger. Cobex Construction Group understands the importance of a strong protective roof. The smallest leak can be the biggest problem. We provide homeowners with reliable roof repairs and replacements. Quality work and customer satisfaction are paramount to us. Get a new roof for zero down and low monthly payments. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF for a no-obligation quote or visit trustcobex.com. Cobex Construction in Roseville. Do it once. Do it right.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients. KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sacramento. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board in the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, or they will be in the third round. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Better TV ratings tonight, Chris. What do you think? The Hawks against the Celtics or the NFL draft?
That's a good question. I was definitely wondering how much interest there is around the draft. I would say the NFL draft, just because the NFL is
not even close.
NFL is absolutely absurd in terms of ratings, and they always have their games are always like the 10 most watched cable games, cable thing programs of the year. But it does feel like, and maybe I just have my Sacramento glasses on, maybe we're too thick in the weeds here, but it doesn't feel like the NFL draft has as much interest and pull like it used to have. Like, especially, I kind of first noticed it when the Panthers made the move up to number one or traded the Bears for that number one pick. And the news just kind of came and went, and I feel like, 5 to 10 years ago, that would have been the only thing we talked about for 2-3 weeks. And, it just kind of felt like it came and went. And I know that we're in Sacramento and it's kind of an important season. It's been a big couple months here, but just doesn't feel like there's the same steam behind the NFL draft that there's been.
You're right.
Years past.
Well, but it won't be close. The ratings is.
Oh no, it will not be close.
The NBA is like, well, let's put Boston and Atlanta there. That series may be over quickly. We may not even have a game.
Doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, and you got quarterbacks, and we'll talk more about the draft today coming up, and what, if anything, the 49ers might do. But we have to deal with this right now. The fact that a lot of Kings fans are not just disappointed, they're not happy.
No.
We'll get to the phones here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Some of the comments on the YouTube chat, Harrison Barnes needs to retire. The Kings need to trade Sabonis back to the Pacers for that other dude. People have had Mike Brown. People are taking shots at Mike Brown. A lot of it just frustration, obviously. But some of it, I think, speaks to maybe some people's expectations going into this series were a little higher than they should have been.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't want to call people casuals either, but I have seen a good amount of people saying, oh, didn't really tune into the Kings much this regular season. What's up with this Sabonis guy? Or I thought they were supposed to be good. And it's like, well, if you're not going to watch the first half of the movie, you can't then ask a ton of questions about the ending. It's kind of how it works. So, I think there is a bit of, people had expectations. They were like, I'm not going to pay attention to the Kings until they're good. And now that they're good, they're paying attention. And now they're like, oh, I thought they were supposed to be good. Why are they losing? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. One of, if not the main reason, being the fact that they're playing again. Doesn't need to be stated, but the Golden State Warriors are the defending champions, a team that has been to the finals multiple times this decade. And has a couple decent players still on their team. So it's not, it's just very short-sighted to I understand you're upset because the Kings had the 2-0 lead. They had an opportunity to seal this thing twice, go up 3-0 potentially. Also had was a shot away from going up 3-1, and now they're the ones with the backs to the wall. I know it's a scary situation. I know it's not the situation we thought we'd be in a week ago. But, it's how these things go. And
but
again,
Miles Turner ain't the answer.
Also,
I should have got Miles Turner instead of Sabonis.
Yeah, the number one thing that we don't need to do, and it doesn't really matter. Again, fans are going to fan however you want. But Monty McNair is not going to freak out. No matter what anybody says, Mike Brown will still be the coach next year. I was going to say Domantas Sabonis is going to be on the team next year. I would say that's more than likely probably going to happen, almost guaranteed to happen. You never know, I guess. But, this team is going to be intact next season. Okay. Right. There's not going to be too major of adjustments made. There might be some for sure, but let's not expect things to completely go in a different direction next year.
We'll get to the phones. Thanks for hanging on. I just want to play as promised. Giannis, after the Bucks got bounced by the Heat last night. That's an 8, technically, although they ended up 8 through the plane, beating a 1. So Giannis was asked, and this applies to any team, any season. Doesn't apply to the Kings yet because they haven't been eliminated. But this was Giannis and a tough question he was asked last night about whether the Bucks season is a failure.
Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, and if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's going to win. And this year, somebody else is going to win. Simple as that. We're going to come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. You know, sorry that I didn't want to make it personal because you asked me the same question last year, and last year I was in the right mind space to answer the question back, but I remember it.
Okay. First of all, it doesn't apply to the Kings because they're still playing. And besides, I think we all know if the Kings do not get out of this round, this season's been a success.
Right.
Right. It's not
a finals or bust this year.
But for Giannis, I mean, the guy asked the question. The question's not a statement. Is this year a failure? You can say, no, you're wrong. No. How do you feel about it? To me, I understand what Giannis is saying, but given where they are and given the amount of money they're paying to certain players who are in their primes, to me, they failed this year. They were a team primed to win a championship. I'm glad. I'm not saying he has to be miserable about it, but the Bucks failed this year. They didn't get out of the first round. That's a failure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
failed.
You're completely right. The situation that the Bucks are in, if you say that team, if you were to say in the preseason, hey, you guys are going to be a 1 seed and then lose in the first round.
Yes,
that's a failure. That is a blanket statement. That is a failure. And
that happens, to his point. It happens in sports, but you still failed.
Absolutely. But I do not want to lose his point there because I love that quote. I really love pretty much everything he said in that. I really agree that it is like there's steps to success. Like I just think that's the message that I took from the Kings side of things. Again, not from the Bucks side.
Because they already won one.
They already won one, right. But this is, Kings fans who are freaking out today, again, these are just steps. I know Kings had a 2-0 series lead. Again, they had an opportunity to go up 3-1. If the Warriors win 4 straight and win tomorrow, it's not the end of the world. Doesn't mean that this season is all for nothing. Oh, it doesn't mean that I guess Sabonis is a bad player. It's just steps, okay? Like next season, if the Kings are in this postseason position again, I would bet that Sabonis isn't going to play this poorly. I would bet that he's probably going to take this series and he's going to learn from it. And he's going to try and understand better how he can mentally. Giannis also pointed at that last season. He didn't feel like he was mentally prepared to answer that question. Maybe next season, Sabonis will be more mentally prepared to adjust to the things thrown at him. And maybe, Mike Brown also. To me, I just really enjoyed what Giannis said there. Just as a life lesson to everybody. I mean, the Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. Were the other 9 years a failure? I think that's
but they won the last 6.
Sure,
thing. Yeah,
sure, they won the last 6, but I don't think it's fair to consider every season. There is only one champion every single year. Not everyone can win every single year.
But you were out in the first round.
Yeah, I'm taking that situation out of it. Right.
Big picture, and you don't have to beat yourself up or be miserable about it. But how is that not a failure? Maybe it's a matter of him. Yeah. He doesn't want to.
I mean, he also missed 2 games. I'm sure he views
there's
like
it's a little more nuanced. But you didn't get out of the first round.
It's a failure for a team, right? And so, especially in terms of like that's not the team. If there is a goal and there is a specific goal, which is win a championship, and you did not reach said goal, I guess this is kind of what Giannis is arguing, that isn't a failure. But especially when you come that short, I think you can consider what the Bucks did a failure. But I still don't want to lose Giannis's overall point for the exact situation that he's talking about. I really appreciate the point he made. However, I think the two things are separate. I think
they need to trade him.
I think
and
he's
if they
wrong
will trade him for Sabonis,
about that exact situation.
I would take the call.
I would listen to it. You know what? That's what I'm taking out of that. If they want to, Giannis is a loser. We'll bring him over. Kings are perennial losers.
Kick the tires on it. I would take the call.
I would take a meeting.
That's all.
I think Monty and Wes should probably meet and take a meeting about possibly bringing Giannis, a big time loser, unsuccessful,
that was a stunner,
over to Sacramento.
Jimmy Butler, man, I tell you, these older teams are like, we'll just kind of figure it out during the regular season as long as we're healthy for the playoffs. Boom.
Scary.
Some scary things are happening.
Scary stuff. A lot of lower seeds, man. A lot of lower seeds are looking really dangerous right now in the postseason.
All right. Thanks for hanging. Look at all the calls. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll get right back to your calls here. We'll be right back. Chris and Company, White and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Basketball is stupid. Injuries in the NBA postseason have truly stunk out. I don't like sports. This is just outrageous. Ja Morant, Giannis, Embiid. and now De'Aaron Fox.
Was it just a matter of time before this bug got you? I know it's not like technically contagious, but it sure seems like injuries have been contagious in the NBA this year, and the Kings have been living in a bubble.
Kettles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
He's Chris Watkins, Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason. We're here today to try to put a stop to the Sabonis slander. And I understand.
I don't know. I think it feels like it's coming in hot right now. There's a lot of people who are not upset or who are not happy with the Kings big man right now.
Yeah, everyone wants to trade him for Miles Turner.
Okay.
If you can't tell, Fox doesn't want to pass the ball to Sabonis, so he's going to be traded. And the thing is, I know he's not playing well, but it's not like he's averaging, 4 points a game or something.
He is not. No, it's really only his assists that are really majorly down from the regular season. You look at his playoff numbers, and he's at now sitting at 17.2 points, down from 19 in the regular season. But that's one
not playing well.
One shot.
Yeah, he's not playing
Assists
well.
Obviously are down 4.4 for the playoffs. That's really the biggest difference. But still rebounding at an elite level. Shooting 50% from the field. He shot 60 during the regular season. So there's definitely some discrepancies, but you're right. Like he hasn't been MIA completely. It's just, expectations. Again, when somebody plays as well as they did during the regular season, you hope that they step their game up, not take a step back.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Thank you for hanging on. Let's get to TC. TC, you're on with Watkins and Whitey. What's going on today?
Hey, Whitey, how you guys doing? You guys got me?
Yes.
Gotcha.
What's up?
Just I'm gonna keep it real simple, man. To all Kings fans, to Kings media, check it out. We gotta be careful what we wish for. If the bonus leave, everybody gonna be crying. I promise you. The dude, Kevin Huerter wasn't hitting his shot up off the bonus. He win as a team, he lose as a team.
Yeah.
It's just we ran into the Warriors. The hell with all that. We just couldn't hit shots, bro. That's all it is. We still have a game tomorrow to win, and I do think we're going to win tomorrow. We're going to go to Game 7. But please, Kings fans and Kings media, back up off Sabonis where he doesn't sign here when it's time to sign, and everybody will be looking back at this situation if he doesn't sign back and be crying, saying, "Why? What did we do?" Be careful and temper your expectation, Kings fans. I'm telling you, please.
Thank you,
That's
TC.
all I got.
Appreciate the call. And by the way, just to be clear, I'm stunned by the backlash against Sabonis.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to fan the flames here. It's absurd.
Really
It amuses me, and maybe I need to take it more seriously. Maybe there's something here going on where we need to say, you know what, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it is. It's making me laugh because it's so dumb.
This is a guy who, again, this is where, kind of like Verlad pointed out earlier, enjoy it now because this is expectations coming full force. And that's the only reason I can think people are so upset. Again, Sabonis has not played to expectation and not played to the level that he did during the regular season, but by no means is he being a bum and laying an egg in this series.
Right.
He's still been the Kings' second or third best player in this series. It's just the Kings need him to be better if they want to beat the Golden State Warriors. Kind of like what TC was saying there. Like, we can't forget who we're playing here. We're not playing the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are actually pretty good, but we're not playing some Joe Schmo schmuck team. Okay, these are some guys who have been through some things. Okay, there's a reason why Sabonis looks the way he does, and hopefully, if the Kings advance, he'll have another opportunity. Maybe again, this could just be a bad matchup for him. Maybe in a different series, he would look a lot better. In a series against the Memphis Grizzlies, maybe he would be able to handle Triple J a lot better than he's handling Looney. It's been tough, and you have to give a lot of respect to the Warriors as well.
Jimmy, you're on Chris and Company, White and Watkins. What's up, Jimmy? Where do we take this whole thing? What's your level of faith right now?
Oh man, how are you guys today?
Good.
I'm down, but I'm not out. It's not over. It's not over. These are the defending champs. What are they? 4-time champs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. So that's point number one. Point number two, Sabonis, we wouldn't be here without him. He's an 82-game grind type of guy. Number three, maybe he's not built for the playoffs. That's okay. Some people are. Some people are not. Number three, Chimezie Metu. He is a big, rim-running, shot-blocking, athletic big. I think he needs minutes. He needs time to prove himself.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'm not with you on Metu. I understand where you're coming from, and maybe you're right, but I'm nowhere near that point yet.
I am not a Chimezie Metu guy. I've been on record multiple times stating that I am not.
I think this would be a really tough series for him.
Yeah, I get it, because if you look at some of the earlier games in the season when the Kings played Golden State, Metu did have a really big role with them. But again, you kind of pointed at it there with saying Sabonis. Some guys aren't playoff players. There's nothing about Chimezie Metu's game that tells me that he would be more impactful in the playoffs than he was during the regular season.
I don't know though. Maybe Game 6. Maybe Mike Brown's got to look at doing some things that he hasn't wanted to do to this point. So maybe we do see a little more Kessler Edwards.
Yeah,
maybe we do see a little more of Metu.
I think that I would be.
I wouldn't, but we might.
I would be shocked if we saw Metu. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one of Kessler or TD in Game 6.
Dave joins us on Chris and Company. Hey, Dave, you're on with White and Watkins. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, this is a process. The Warriors are. I mean, the Kings are a very young team.
Yeah.
And playoff basketball is a whole different game than the regular season. And even the Kings were a little shocked the first time. They don't understand the physicality of it. This is going to, if they end up beating the Warriors 2 games in a row, that's fantastic. But if they don't, they need to have a bitter taste in their mouth. And now they understand a little bit more about what playoff basketball is about. Yeah. They need to be more physical. They need to be more aggressive. And Sabonis is also playing with the bad right hand all the time. So he's kind of hamstrung to one side of his body. He can't do both sides. And now that Fox has that finger, we saw what that meant last night. It's just injuries and the youth of the Kings. They're going to be fine. Re-sign Sabonis. Spend some time in the weight room in the off season because now you've got a taste of playoff basketball and you know what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Some good points there.
Yeah, really good points there. I don't know
about the weight room.
I don't know about the weight room. I think the physicality is, maybe something that they could. I do feel like the physicality has fallen off. That the first 2 games, it felt like the Kings were just playing like old school 90s East, New York Knicks style defense. Those first 2 games at Golden One Center, it does feel like that intensity has definitely fallen off. But you're right. We kind of talked about it before the series started. A lot of the times you got to go through, it's unfortunate, but learning experiences happen through losses and through playoff losses, especially. You learn a lot about your team. You learn about what you need to prepare for. And the only way you're going to get experience is by going through it. And unfortunately, sometimes part of getting experience is losing in really tough ways, but that's the only way you're going to get better is by going through it yourself. So you're completely right. Maybe this is a good learning lesson for the team.
Let's go to Eric. Eric, you're on with Chris and Company. White and Watkins, what's up today? Where are we? Where are you as a Kings fan right now? Sorry.
I'm not at KFC right now, but I am listening to the last few minutes of the show. And
Eric?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that the people bagging on Sabonis right now, it's absolutely amazing. Not you guys. I was in YouTube for a couple minutes. I've seen some of the callers.
Like just last night, Sabonis had 21 and 10 with 3 steals and a block. Now that's, not maybe MVP-like numbers, but a 20 and 10 guy who plays some defense, that's something you want on your team. You're not trying to trade away or get rid of or move on from.
Exactly. Yeah.
So also that I'm looking at, Chris kind of already alluded to it, but the Kings aren't in this position right now without Sabonis. So all of you, I don't want to say trolls, there's people that are just angry and upset and emotional. The Kings will not be the 3 seed. They would not have home court. They would not have won 48 games. Every single writer that did votes said they either thought about putting Sabonis in their top 5 MVP voting or was just out of it. He was the MVP of the Kings season, not Fox. It was not anyone else. It was Sabonis. He was the difference. Fox has been in Sacramento, guys, now for 6 years. Now, I don't expect, Fox to lead them to the playoffs in his rookie year. Fox has been at 6 years. What is the difference? The difference is 1 full season this year of Sabonis. He is the reason why guys were in the playoffs. He's the reason why I got to go to playoff games in person this year and cheer on my Kings. He may not be Embiid. He may not be Giannis as a big man, but gosh darn it, I want him here for the next 8 years. And for anyone that listens to the Deuce and Mo show, Sabonis was working with an Eastern European trainer last year, lifting horses over his head. All right, that dude is strong. He does not need it to work out. Whoever that last caller was. Thanks, guys.
The weight room. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, it's just I think a lot of the people that are so hard on Sabonis today are just kind of lashing out, and they don't realize that his numbers, as Eric pointed out, numbers yesterday were solid. This is just a tough matchup for him, and you can't expect a guy like Sabonis to do what he did every night during the regular season against a team like the Warriors in a playoff series. That said, it's not like he's, scoring 3 a game.
Yeah, no, it's unfair.
With no rebounds. That's not happening.
I think the biggest thing that people are noticing is just the assists, right? For sure the overall game of Sabonis hasn't looked the same as well, but if he's getting those 7 or 8 assists, I think people aren't talking about it because you're right. Eric just pointed it out. He had 21 and 10 last night, had 4 assists still, which is really good. If you look at other centers across the league, besides Nikola Jokic, not many are getting over 2 or 3 assists in a game. And Sabonis, just what he's asked to do is so much different than really anybody else besides Jokic. It's really unfair. And the amount of, not just for himself, but again, the other guys as well. The thing that I noticed a lot, and we can get to it later, I know we got a break, but the Kings don't have a lot of guys who are shot creators and Keegan Murray is not crossing anybody up and creating anything off the dribble. Kevin Huerter, a lot of his game is based off of dribble handoffs with Sabonis. These guys need Domantas Sabonis in more ways than just scoring and rebound. He is responsible for so much of this team's success that it's a really tough ask to do what he did in the regular season, in the postseason, when Golden State knows so well how key he is. And they're just blowing it up. Again, you have to give Golden State some credit here. They're doing a really good job of making everybody else's life really tough.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What is job 1 for the Kings tomorrow? If they win the game, there's going to be a game 7 in Sacramento.
Wait, what?
Right? Yeah. If they win the game, there's going to be another game.
What a concept.
So what's job 1 for the Kings tomorrow? That's next.
Number
Chris
1
and Company.
win.
Yeah, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo, touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf
golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, we'd like to help you purchase your next new Honda. Right now at Elk Grove Honda, new Hondas are arriving on a regular basis, including the newly designed CRV, new design Accords, exciting Civics, and much more. And Elk Grove Honda's pre-owned inventory offers choices there as well. So give Elk Grove Honda a chance to show you the new or pre-owned Honda you're looking for. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop garage sale of nearly new showroom clubs is on right now. With discounts up to 75%, you'll find full sets of irons, metalwoods, wedges, and more at the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale featuring $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory. This kind of opportunity is rare and available right now. Visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. Series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sacramento. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks' comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, or they will have their first pick in the third round. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Just trying to make sense of this. There's a real Sabonis backlash that we're dealing with today. It's Whitey and Watkins. Glad to be back with you. Chris, obviously a lot of Kings fans are struggling for answers today.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, it looked like, man, this team's going to just
roll through,
cruise through the defending champs. And then what? Now all of a sudden, you got to win tomorrow or it is all over. So I understand that, you got to come face to face with some
mortality
difficult things. Yeah. But blaming this all on Sabonis, I'm trying to understand it. I reject it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to well, yeah, it makes some sense. It doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to figure out where it comes from. And I guess it's a matter of he's supposedly one of, if not your best player, and you're coming up short. So therefore, it's his fault, because if you lose, then it's the fault of your best player.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do, again, kind of like I mentioned earlier, his lack of assisting. He definitely hasn't looked himself either.
He has been taken out of his game.
He has not looked like the same guy, and that is, again, that's fine. I think a caller mentioned earlier, like sometimes I wouldn't say Sabonis isn't built for the playoffs. I just think sometimes the playoffs is a whole different game, and you have to learn how to adjust your game to this new style. And for some guys, it's easier. I think especially with how the league is nowadays, it's really hard to have that kind of impact as a big. Traditionally, you have your Jokic's, you have your Embiids, but there's not really many centers that dominate the ball as much as Domantas Sabonis does. So there's just, it's really tough to have the same level of impact when the game is so perimeter centric these days. He's got to do a lot of his work down low, and we see the Golden State's I think, honestly, if I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that people don't like the fact that he has that open mid-range jump shot. And we saw him hit it twice last night. He took it with the most confidence we've seen all series long. But I think those moments have been the ones that get fans the most upset, because those are the moments that seem really obvious to the outsider. But when you really know all the complexities of everything that's going through his mind, it makes a lot more sense. But just as a blanket, I think when people see Sabonis have that open look and they see him hesitate, and then sometimes, even yesterday, he'll make the decision to drive off of that and get into charges 2 or 3 times a game. That just doesn't, to the eye, it doesn't look good. That looks like, oh man, like that's a turnover. He traditionally doesn't do that. To me, those specific moments are the ones that are making Sabonis look the worst. And I think those are the moments that are sticking out in people's minds, instead of all of the offensive rebounding, all of the rebounding. And I mean, I think it was in game 4, Sabonis and Looney were like battling to see who was going to get 25 rebounds first. Sabonis has been involved in this series. It's not like he has been a non-factor. It's just his scoring hasn't looked the same. And, frankly, Golden State has done a good job of, Looney is a load. He's a really strong guy, and Looney has done really well on the offensive glass. That's not all on Sabonis. That's on really the entire team gang rebounding. But, I think that there's it's a blame pie, right? Like there's a lot of guys who are responsible for what's happening now.
That is a bitter pie.
It is not a good pie. I'm not a fan of pie.
Really?
No, there's not a single pie that I enjoy.
Huh.
I'm not joking. There's not, I'm not a pie guy at all, but
we learn more and more about you, Chris, every day.
He doesn't like movies, and he doesn't like pie.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
agree with you on Sabonis, and I think there's also this, if we really try to distill it. Again, I think the Sabonis backlash is ludicrous. I'm just trying to figure out where it's coming from. Before this series started, I think for a lot of Kings fans, maybe not you, but I think for a lot of Kings fans, and certainly I don't know how you felt about it, Chris, a lot of fans looked at this and matchups position-wise and said, Sabonis, he's tremendous.
Yeah, right.
And what do the Warriors have at center? Looney kind of fills a role for them, and Draymond so far past his prime. Those two, they're going to have their hands full with Sabonis. And instead, Looney he's been magnificent. Yeah. Sabonis has been a little less than what Kings fans hoped. And then Draymond Green last night out Sabonis.
Right.
So I think, there's some of that's like, wait a minute, Sabonis is supposed to dominate these two guys. Well, maybe that wasn't realistic, but there's some disappointment there that's not happening.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's not close to happening.
I think you just hit it on the head right there. It is, because before the series, that was the matchup to look at for Sacramento and say that's a clear advantage. I don't know, Fox versus Steph, we know where that lanes, and that's no shot to De'Aaron. Obviously, that's just Steph being Steph. Huerter, Thompson, again, that's Clay's going to win that battle. Wiggins, Barnes. Wiggins probably going to win that battle. And so my point is, the most obvious and clear advantage for Sacramento heading into the series on paper appeared to be that Sabonis-Looney matchup. But then once you actually get into the series, you see just, again, like we're talking, why is it only the Kings guys who have to step up in the postseason? Why are they the only ones who are allowed to, the Golden State also is going to have guys play better in the postseason than they did in the regular season. And especially a team as experienced as them, they understand that, you don't have to give everything you got in the regular season as long as you bring it in the postseason. And Kevon Looney looks like not even like a completely different guy. He just looks like a souped up version of the guy that he was all regular season.
Killing the Kings.
Killing them. Yeah. Absolutely killing them. And it's a huge shout out to Kevon Looney, who's now officially getting all of his recognition that he's probably deserved.
An all-star. He's never been close to an all-star.
No.
King Center's an all-star. What's happening there?
He's just a supreme role player. I mean, sometimes it's just about excelling in your role, and especially when you're on a team as great as Golden State.
He
with
did
his
this
great
in the playoffs
players.
last year, too.
He did.
He did
the same exact
Dallas.
thing. Yeah. He also has done a great job of getting other guys involved. I think he's got 2 games this series of having 5+ assists.
He's smart. He knows I have the ball. Let's see. That's Steph Curry.
Right.
I'll throw it to him.
And
I got an assist.
Good things tend to happen when you do that. So I think, it makes sense from that perspective. I didn't really consider that in the prelude to this, it did seem like that was the most obvious advantage, and the Kings haven't gotten the advantage there. But again, like you have to give credit to Golden State and Kevon Looney, and frankly, Klay Thompson as well, who has been switched on to Sabonis a couple times. And Klay's done a really good job in just about every time I can think of, really holding his weight against Sabonis. Klay has been really impressive defensively. He's obviously not the guy that he's been in the past, where you probably in the past just throw Klay Thompson on De'Aaron Fox and you can live with those results. He's not that guy anymore, but again, just continuing to excel in his role. Again, last night, highest plus. I know people don't love plus minus, but this is a second straight game Klay has had the Warriors just the biggest plus minus of the game. He was a plus 14 last night.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Manuel's been hanging on. Manuel, you're on with Chris and company. What's up? Where are you? What's your level of faith right now in the Kings?
I still have faith in them for sure. We weren't supposed to be here to begin with, so even being here is just amazing as, a long life Kings fan. But also, I think, I wanted to touch on the Sabonis thing. Everybody's giving him all this hate, but if we're hitting down even just a respectable 3-point number, his assist numbers go up, and then he's playing his normal game. And also, I think the way the game was ref the first 2 games is completely different from how it's been ref the last 3 games. After the stomp and after all the complaining from the media, it just seems like it completely changed the narrative and how they were allowed to play physical from both sides. The first 2 games were physical on both sides, where both teams were just laying it out. But now it seems like, it's called a little different. I don't think that's the reason why we're losing these games. Obviously, it's the shooting. But, so that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for hanging on. Yeah, you're right. I know that seems obvious, but Jerry Reynolds first made that point to me. It's hard to get assists when guys aren't making shots.
They're not making threes at all. And I'm checking it right now because the Kings have the second lowest 3-point percentage of any playoff team right now.
Is that
shooting
Atlanta or the Knicks behind them?
It is the Knicks. Knicks are shooting 28% from 3, and they advanced, right? I mean, they the Knicks, we saw how they win their games, offensive rebounding and just getting multiple possessions. Kings 30.1%, tied with the Lakers for second lowest percentage from 3. That's not the Kings game. This Kings team all season long, they weren't the best 3-point shooting team. I believe they were top 10 in field goal or in 3-point percentage, but they shot 37%, if I'm not mistaken, from 36.9% as a team for the season from 3. So that caller's completely right. They also haven't made their shots, which has been a huge detriment to Sabonis's assists as well. Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, we see Keegan starting to make shots now, but Kevin Huerter not making shots has been really big.
So what do you do if you're Mike Brown, if you're Sabonis? What's the adjustment for the crucial Game 6? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Also coming up, an upset-filled NBA playoffs. Is that good for business? We'll dive into that next. Chris and company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine. Fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for other card or combo orders.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop. You hearing this? It sounds like this is playoff basketball. Time to tap into playoff mode. That non-stop, claw your way to the top, give it all you got type of thing. From inside the paint to outside the arena. Where did this come from? Everybody's got to get in playoff mode and stay in playoff mode. Every single round. The NBA playoffs presented by Google Pixel continue on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
At the Gonzalez Law Office, we focus on trials and litigation to achieve the best result. For over a decade, Jonathan Gonzalez has conducted more than 60 jury trials to verdict, and since 2016 has only lost 2. We understand how to fight for our clients and make sure our clients get the best results. We don't settle for less, and neither should you. Call us to handle all your criminal and injury cases. 916-304-9187. That's 916-304-9187, or visit us at saclegaldefense.com.
California, the birthplace of all things cool. Beautiful people, perfect beaches, and cruising with the top down on Route 66. It does get quite hot here, though, so now that spring has sprung, Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Air is offering a full air conditioning system inspection and tune-up for just $66. Call 455-4548 and just say Route 66 to get your kicks and stay cool. Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Air, 455-4548 or at aceplumbing.com.
The summer's heating up with some of your favorite country stars at Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's. Featuring country's biggest stars. Derek Spinley's Gravel and Gold Tour, Friday, August 4th. Sam Hunt's Summer on the Outskirts Tour, Sunday, August 13th. Darius Rucker's Starting Fires Tour, Saturday, August 19th. Kane Brown's Drunkard Dreaming Tour, Thursday, August 31st. And Friday, September 1st. Don't miss these country all-stars plus more. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and ApeConcerts.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Woo! Thanks for being with us today and helping us through this. Probably the most difficult day of the season so far to be a Kings fan.
Yeah.
Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, because now all of a sudden, if you don't win the next game, the season's all over. This wonderful, wonderful season. There's an expiration date now on it for the first time.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Potentially. It is not over, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over. Still got a game tomorrow. And I think they played well at Chase Center last time they were there. It felt like, no longer would you be, having some emotions going in there, you wouldn't be nervous about that crowd. I think they handled themselves well enough in game 4 that they should feel positive.
I don't want to say they really needed that game 4, but man.
Oh, it would have been nice, especially now. It would have been really, really nice to have that extra cushion, right?
Hey, that's basketball.
Yeah, some shots fall, some don't. But they also had an opportunity in game 3. They just needed to make a couple of shots because they didn't hit anything all game long.
Head to SactownSports.com right now. That's where you can buy your tickets for KNCI's Jiffy Lube Country in the Park. May 5th and 6th, Cal Expo Grandstands. Performances by the likes of Chris Young, Lady A, Joe Nichols. Tickets start at just I checked. That has got to be a mistake.
Looks wrong.
It's $45.
Yeah.
And I checked, like, nope, $45. Weekend passes, just $80. They're available on the SactownSports.com event page. Real quick, before we get back to the phones, it's interesting to me. You see the Miami Heat advancing over the Bucks, and a lot of that had to do with Giannis's injury, of course.
Yeah.
The Lakers are 1 win away from advancing. The Warriors 1 win away from advancing. Not over yet, but all three are older teams that kind of stumbled in some ways through the regular season, and then they just wanted to make sure their rosters were healthy for the start of the playoffs, and zoom, here they go. That's interesting, and it's kind of fun now, but to me, it just speaks to the devaluing of the regular season again.
Yeah, and we kind of felt it during the regular season too, right? Where, the Clippers are a perfect example. Kawhi Leonard barely plays all season long, plays about half the games, and then comes out. Kawhi is probably not the best example for the postseason as he, again, got injured.
They tried. It just didn't work out for them, but they definitely tried to do that.
So many teams, and I don't know if you could say they didn't take it seriously, but clearly didn't mind the goal was just get in there, just make the tournament. They'll figure out the rest. And, it sounds like a scary proposition when you're, trying to sell the fans on it that, hey, it's okay. Don't panic too much. I know Warriors 11-30 on the road all season. You have to win on the road if you're going to win in the playoffs, especially as the lower seed. We just saw it didn't matter that the Warriors were 11-30 on the road. They handled themselves fine. They've handled themselves fine on the road all postseason. Granted, they've only have one win to show for it, but I wouldn't say that anything about the Warriors season has really, the turnovers were a concern. They've cleaned that up. The road was a concern. They've gotten their road win. I just think that sometimes you're right. Like the regular season, especially with these older veteran teams, they just seem to know that, again, just put us in the tournament. We're going to be a tough out. I've been saying about the Warriors, if you're going to eliminate us, you're going to have to really, really go through it in order to get us out.
We'll see how this all shakes out, of course, but this could end up being the most insignificant regular season ever.
Could be.
Which is bad for business if, we start figuring out, why am I paying that much money for tickets to a game in November?
Right.
If the teams don't even care. Right. So just something to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
Of course, the commissioner's going to fix all that with his in-season tournament.
Right. Well, according to the commissioner, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong at all. Right. Because the attendance has never been higher. Viewership has never been higher. So there's nothing to worry about if you're Adam Silver, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Where are you as a Kings fan? What's your level of faith? And what's job one tomorrow? I haven't really answered that yet, Chris. I got to get your answer. Job one for the Kings tomorrow night. What is it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to Steve on Chris and Company. Steve, you're on Sactown Sports. What's up?
And I'm actually a Warriors fan, but I was at the game last night.
Yeah.
And you guys are loud. You guys are loud. You guys are live. There's very minimal Warriors fans there. But hey, if the Kings play any other team, probably. I see them beating any other team in the West.
Yeah.
Maybe not Denver, but the Kings are a good team, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's
but
nice.
Hey, you guys have a live stadium. I'll tell you that.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. On the other hand, it's kind of like, getting patted on the head.
Good
You have a
job.
cute
You gotta
little
be
team.
loud.
You could beat another. You can't beat us, but you could beat another team.
Let me tell you, Steve, last night was light too. I'm telling you, it was it was a great crowd. It was sellout, but I think that the crowd could have gone to after seeing what game one was. I've seen regular season games as lively as it was last night. That was light. If you want to see something crazy, let us go to game 7.
I even sensed that a little bit on the television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely, I would say, the most Warrior fans that I have seen this post, more than game 1 and 2, I would say were at game 3 last night. So
Bill joins us to talk about the Sabonis situation here. Bill, you're on with Whitey and Watkins. What's up?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm in my car, so I hope you can hear me okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sound great.
I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of the emotional versus like the personal and maybe realistic aspect of this. I think these people piling on, look, I'll be the first to admit, there hasn't been one of these games that I haven't been screaming at my TV and cursing at probably every single one of the Kings players at one time or another. But that's the emotional part of it, right? Because
Absolutely.
as a battered fan base, we want so much better. But the realistic part of it is when you look back at the beginning of the season, we were given zero chance. We were bashed for the trade that we made for Sabonis. We were not expected to make even the play-ins. But when we surpassed that and made the playoffs, we were still given zero chance to do anything in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And yet here we are with still an opportunity to win this series and played very well in this series. So I think a lot of this bashing that's going on is really coming, or at least I hope it's coming from that emotional perspective, because at the end of the day, when I take a step back and look at what this team has done, I could not be more proud of not only the team as a whole, but of each of these individual players. This is playoff basketball. This is not regular season basketball, and it is different. And for this team to be put together in a small amount of time that it was, for them to have reached the accomplishments, we have head coach of the year, we have clutch player of the year, we have a rookie that ranks number 5, we have a GM who should be GM of the year, and here we are, right? So fans, I think they tend to react on the emotional side, right? We've been battered emotionally, but realistically, I could not be more proud of this team, no matter how this series goes. We have a bright future, and that's where I'm choosing to look at this.
Thank you, Bill. Wow. Call of the day nominee.
Call of the day. Absolutely. That was beautiful. I don't even have anything else to add to that. I mean, everything he said was perfect.
I was just recalling, as Bill ran that down, where the Warriors, where this all started for them, with Mark Jackson as the coach. And 2013, they made the playoffs, first round, and they were, a 7-2? They beat Denver.
The Nuggets series, yeah.
They stunned the Nuggets, and then they lost to the Spurs. And they played well against the Spurs. I think that went 6. I was at the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that was like, okay, well, you got to learn how to play in the playoffs. The next year, they were out in the first round of the Clippers. So that's how this great team that's won 4 championships,
right,
that was the beginnings of their playoff journey.
Right.
Then, after that, they got a new coach, and off they went. But you do have to go through some of these playoff growing pains.
Right. I heard Bob Myers actually on one of the SF stations mention the same exact thing, that he directly referenced that Nuggets series as, that's how we had to start too. And, this Kings team is showing a little bit of that, granted the Kings are the higher seed, but they're showing a lot of fight and a lot of resilience in a situation where we saw what all the experts picked. They were expecting Warriors in 5, Warriors in 6, which is still a possibility. But the Kings have absolutely shown to the national public, even if they lose 4 in a row, that there's some real pieces and a real future to this team.
Mm-hmm. Last night after the game, Draymond was on TNT, and Shaq asked him, "Did you know that this was going to be that tough of a series?" And he said, "Yeah, we knew it, but it was." He talked about it like it was the past tense. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not.
He did say at the end, I think we've done well to this point, but he didn't stop and say at any point, Draymond didn't say, "Hey, this series isn't over." So it's pretty clear at this point, the Warriors are feeling like, yeah, we took care of our business last night, and this thing, we're going back home and it's over.
I love to hear that. Sounds like we got them right where we want them. Sounds like they're overlooking us now. Sounds like that they might be the ones who might need to sharpen up that focus a little bit, because if Golden State's going to go into game 6 feeling like this thing is already over, I really think that they got another thing coming to them, because this Kings team is not going to lay down easy. I know that for a fact.
But you have to, and I'm not saying they can't, but in order to win on the road in a game like that, in a situation like that, you got to make shots. You got to play extremely hyper efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Can't turn the ball over. Got to make free throws. You got to withstand the runs that the Warriors are going to bring. The Kings have to play more efficiently and more buttoned up than they have at any game in this series so far.
100%. They have. Well, I think if they play as well as they did in game 4, that they have the opportunity to win. They had one bad quarter. It was the third quarter in game 4, and that really ended up costing them. In my opinion, I think if they play another performance like that, and to me, the biggest thing that they did in that was hit shots, which they just haven't done all series long. If they can knock down some shots and, again, just play with a certain level of desperation, getting 50-50 balls, really, attacking the offensive glass, making sure that Golden State doesn't get second chance opportunities. That to me is we're talking about the keys to success moving forward. That's where it's got to start, is just you have to take care of the little things, got to knock down your shots.
Meanwhile, the Kings' paint point problem ain't pretty, but it gives a clue to how they can be better tomorrow and beyond. That's next on Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune in to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
Some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
ACR Solar and Home Improvements did a great job to keep my family covered with our brand new roof. And what an experience that was for us. Now we're comfortable and dry during the Sacramento rainy season, and our home value has increased. Plus, the home itself, it's looking and functioning at its very best. And you can get the same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Improvements. ACR Solar and Home Improvements has been bringing us all the highest quality, value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sac. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, and their first pick is in the 3rd round. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Let's be clear about a couple of things. This series is not over.
It's not. It's not. Hell.
Not by a long shot, hopefully.
It's actually a fact.
Yeah,
It is. 100% true.
Let's be clear about something else. Giannis and the Bucks losing. That's a failure. That's a failure, right?
Yeah,
Their season was a failure.
I also, this is my first time. I was at the game yesterday, so obviously I didn't get to watch the how this all went down. And yeah, not exactly how you want your season to end. Throwing the ball away, last moments of regulation, letting Jimmy Butler hit an insane shot to send it into overtime, and then just really laying down in overtime and you know, getting beat pretty handily there.
Yeah.
I know it went down to the last seconds, but it was that is not how you want to end your season if you're a 1 seed right there. I think you can classify that as a failure.
Giannis was asked after the game whether it was a failure because they lost, and he said no. Well, he tried to say no, but I mean it is. You can understand why it's difficult for him to admit that to himself and publicly. But, you know, expectations were very high for that team. He said, Michael Jordan, every year they didn't win the finals. Was it a failure? I don't know. If you ask Michael Jordan, he might say yes.
Michael Jordan would definitely say yes. That's true. That's 100% true. Michael Jordan definitely thought that those seasons were failures. But I think that, again, I if you take the quote just for what it is, I really liked what he had to say. But looking at this exact situation, yeah. I love you, Giannis, but
are you soft, Chris? Are
you
SOFT soft?
I think I'm like Charmin soft. Like might be Charmin ultra soft. Would have been tough.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that. He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
don't be mean to him.
Yeah, I don't. Why do we have to be mean? You know, just because
we don't have to be mean. You know, just say, hey, you failed. Oh well, it happens. That's not.
I mean, I definitely think he failed for sure in this situation. But again, I just really
I lost to the Heat.
I appreciate what he said. Yeah. The Heat, hey man, let's not get it twisted, okay?
Okay.
The Miami Heat were a team that were in the NBA Finals no more than 3 years ago. That bubble,
Conference Finals last year.
Conference Finals last. This is a team that has been there before. Okay, this is the same situation like we're talking about with Sacramento. Nobody wanted to play the Miami Heat in the first round because they knew that the Heat were not your average everyday 8 seed. They were not the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
But even with that said, again, Milwaukee had the best record in the NBA pretty much all season long. You gotta at least get out of the first round for the season to not be a failure. Again, if they lose in the second round to the Cavs or whatever, that I guess it could have been the Knicks, maybe that's less of a failure because, you know, those are better teams. But, you know, yeah, if you're a 1 seed, again, best record in the NBA, you should probably at least get out of the first round.
Well, people around here didn't see a lot of it necessarily because it was going on at the same time as the Kings Warriors. But, I mean, the Bucks last night played like they were feeling that pressure down the stretch. They played like,
yeah, I mean,
that's a bad look for a team that's won an NBA championship.
Yeah, that Giannis turnover is pretty inexcusable. I really don't know how you can describe that one. That's a choke. That's the definition of a choke job right there.
Yes. Now, if the Kings are not able to win tomorrow, that would be unfortunate. This season would still be a huge success. But what do they have to do to win tomorrow? Here is an area in which they, in my opinion, Chris and dear listener, I think they've struggled. These are the paint points for the Warriors over the first 5 games now, okay? Points in the paint for the Warriors. Game 1, 40. Game 2, 44. Remember the Kings won both those.
Yep.
Game 3, 40. Last 2 games, the Warriors have scored 50 points in the paint. And last night, 60.
Woo! Not great.
You see, this trend is rather alarming for a Kings team. The second fewest blocks in the NBA. And Steve Kerr has been telling his team, they don't have great rim protection.
Right.
They don't have great interior defense. Take the ball to the basket. Take the ball to the basket.
Yeah.
Take the ball to the basket. And his message is now being received by the Warriors, and that's one reason why the Kings are now in this very precarious situation.
Yes, and the Kings were bad at points in the paint all season long. It was a thing that people felt like needed to be addressed. They were about league average in terms of points in the paint allowed, but there were a lot of times when it was clear that when teams would, and this isn't the case with Golden State, but when teams would have the height advantage, the Kings just really struggled to out physical those teams. And Golden State, they shouldn't have an issue, right? On paper, you look at Kevon Looney, you look at Draymond Green, you look at really the rest. I mean, this is known as a shooting team, a perimeter shooting team. Warriors shot the most threes of any team in the NBA this season. This is not their identity. But that's the adjustment that Golden State has made, right? We've talked about that chess match going on throughout this series. Golden State understands that it kind of ties into a lot of things we're talking about. Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, those guys are on you off defensively. Attack the rim, attack the paint, try and get to the basket, because not only are those guys not good at stopping the point of attack, but once you get by them, there's nobody there who's going to contest your shot. Sabonis, again, tries really, really hard, but it's just, has some athletic challenges and isn't really a shot blocker or rim protector by any stretch of the imagination.
Let's see if we can get a poll question going.
Let's see.
Yeah. A YouTube poll question. Sactown Sports. What's job one for the Kings tomorrow night? I know you say win. Okay, but how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
What's the most important thing for the Kings to do tomorrow night? To me, it's a simple matter of you've got to make shots.
Yeah.
Because that's your calling card is offense. And if you're making shots, you also slow down the Warriors offensively and you start to put a little pressure on them. If they can't stop you, you want to be in one of those situations where the Warriors look up in the fourth quarter early on. They say, wow, we got a game here. We were hoping to avoid this.
Right.
But you have to make shots.
Yes, that is key number one for sure is making shots, because this Kings team is, again, just not look like themselves all year long. Or I'm sorry, they don't look like the team that they were all year long hitting shots. And to me, it's the most obvious thing. Mike Brown pointed yesterday in his pregame press conference about how his coaching staff was telling him that actually on a per game basis, they averaged the most open 3-point attempts of any of the playoff teams. So it's not a matter of them not getting good looks. They're getting wide open looks. It's just their guys who should be knocking them down aren't. And it's plain as simple as that. And, it's you can't really coach it. It's a make or miss league, but your guys just need to make shots. There's not really, you can only, you can go in the gym after games and try and take some extra attempts, but at the end of the day, it just kind of comes down to guys doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Doesn't
Kevin
help
Huerter
when your
can't be.
best guard has a broken finger, but that
Doesn't help.
There you go. That's
Definitely
just
doesn't
where we
help.
are right
but
now.
He also contributed. I mean, what's everybody else's excuse, right? De'Aaron Fox is missing the tip of his index finger, and he still knocked down 3 triples last night. Kevin Huerter, where are you at? Keegan Murray, you hit a couple to start the game. Where did you go? Harrison Barnes, I don't think hit a single triple last night, did he? I know he took a couple. He was 0 for 2 from 3. Where are those guys at? And it can't just be Malik Monk creating step back threes and Davion Mitchell being wide open because the defense is going to allow him to shoot. Those can't be how you get your threes. You're going to need your guys who have been hitting threes all season long. Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray both hit over 200 threes this year. Those guys need to be hitting their triples in order for the Kings to look like the guys that they were this regular season.
How do we frame a Sabonis answer to this without, fueling those who are trying to blame this all on him? The fact that the Kings are in a hole. Get Sabonis going. Have a big Sabonis night. What do you think? Make shots. Kings have to do that.
I mean, a part of that is, a part of them making shots makes Sabonis look good. It's his screen setting. It would get his assist numbers up.
So a classic Sabonis game?
I guess can you see a 20 plus point, 12
triple
plus
double
rebound? I think I said it to Kyle yesterday. If Sabonis gets a triple double, I think the Kings win. No question about it.
All right. Triple double Domas. That'll be one as well here. Yeah. So what else we got? obviously take care of the basketball.
Yeah, can't have 19 turnovers.
No,
got to keep the turnovers under, can we keep them under 15 for sure? Throughout this season, let me see. The Kings averaged 13.5 turnovers, which is 9th best in the NBA during the regular season. Yeah, can they keep that number under 15 on the road? Can you force how about just winning the turnover battle by 3 to 5 turnovers?
All right. We will figure out the rest of our poll here. Also have an incredible story of a player who overcame an injury like De'Aaron Fox is dealing with, actually overcame an injury that was very similar, except worse. That's up in 90 seconds here. Chris and company, White & Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's time for the Carmichael Dave stupid idiot question of the day that he wants to throw out just for fun. Any thought to starting Davion Mitchell and letting him go for 3 quarters, basically, and you bring in De'Aaron Fox in the 4th as a closer?
Just 12 minutes?
12 minutes at De'Aaron Fox, NBA closer.
You want an answer to your stupid question? It's a stupid question.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination. It's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Fact of the matter is, the Kings were doomed last night as soon as Charles Barkley guaranteed they would win in a blowout, right?
Yeah,
no chance. No chance. Once Chuck did that.
Frankie, I'm telling you, man, when Frankie, our guy, our buddy, Frankie Cardicelli, who does great work over at SactownSports.com. You can read his recap from last night's game. The second he saw that Charles Barkley picked the Sacramento Kings to win, I believe Charles said that they're going to
he said a blowout.
Yeah, he said a blowout. And so second Frankie saw that, he was immediately incredibly concerned. I believe the direct quote was, "Why would he do that?" So Frankie knew instantly that was not a good sign for the Kings' chances last night. Proved to be correct.
Woo! All right, so we're trying to figure out what job one for the Kings needs to be tomorrow night. Obviously, they need to win. How are they going to do that? Here's what we have so far for a potential YouTube poll. We have make shots, specifically 3-point shots, right? 3-point shots.
3-point shots for sure.
Triple-double Domas.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah, win the turnover battle and then control the backboards. Is it that simple?
Yeah, for sure. Right. Just
limit
win the rebounds.
Second chance points.
Limit Looney.
Limit Looney.
Oh my! How many times have they played just such great defense? Miss the shot and then Looney gets a rebound.
Yeah, it's demoralizing. Like I said, the box score says he had 9 of those rebounds, but it seems like he had 40.
How many of those are like tip backs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Right. They're just killer because it's so tough to stop Golden State in general, and then you get the stop.
Yeah.
And then you have to do it again. Like the odds are just not in your favor at that point. Like the odds say that, especially on a second chance point, that's when you get the most wide open looks traditionally. And if you're going to give Stephen Curry a wide open look on a second shot, it's probably going to go.
And at first there's an inclination to say, oh, he's just lucky. But then you realize, no, I'm not
really
sure how he does it, but he knows what he's doing.
You know what? I saw yesterday somebody put together a nice highlight reel of Kevon Looney's rebounds last night. Go watch them because nothing really impressive about it. Just, nothing sticks out except for the fact that he is like you've been mentioning, always in the perfect spot. Like
Right.
it just falls
right
into his hands. And that's not a coincidence.
If you showed somebody these box scores who hadn't seen the game, they'd say, well, he's obviously getting great position and you got to box him out. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. You have these long rebounds and he gets to somewhere near the foul line or bottom of the circle with his back to the basket sometimes, making these like over the shoulder catches, and then he just
he's
flips
not
it
an
out
elite
to shooter.
jumper either. Like it's not like he's skying for rebounds or anything like that. Like, you know, people have been comparing him to Dennis Rodman. You know, Dennis Rodman sometimes would sky for Dennis Rodman was an athlete. Okay, he would get up there. Kevon Looney is not, like, again, it's just all experience. It's all knowledge. The only thing Rodman about it, and again, I've said this before, but Dennis Rodman, that Last Dance documentary, talked about how there was a point where he just knew, you know, goes off the rim, boom, goes that way. Okay, that means it's going to go back there. I see it clank off there, back rim. That means it's going to go over here. It's just the knowledge of, you know, it's experience. You've seen the ball go off the rim for your entire life. You should have a good idea of, okay, 90% of the time when it hits there, it tends to go to the left and on the block. He's just so good at that, being in perfect position, that it's he's been a handful.
Did you know that? I think it was his wife, Dennis Rodman's wife, is from Sacramento.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I coached against.
How many wives does Dennis Rodman have?
I don't know.
I was going to say, it's like I feel like wife is.
I
probably
coached against his daughter, and I think she went on to become just an outstanding volleyball player. But you'd watch her run.
I think
someone said, "Hey,
that's his other daughter."
Oh,
yeah, that's Dennis Rodman's daughter." And you watch her run. It's like, "Yep, sure is."
Yeah, just was she just eating up every rebound out there, or did she?
I don't remember
did she have a
just
similar
being
game,
like similar to that, but you could see like, man, that's an athlete.
Yeah,
she ran
just moves differently,
like a gazelle.
Yeah. So Verlaud, you said his other daughter is the U.S. women's
the US
national
soccer
team
player.
Yeah, I mean, got some good genes for sure. So
yeah,
you know, maybe Kevon Looney's children coming next in the next 20 years. Look out.
On the YouTube chat, I think it's Voodoo saying, De'Aaron Fox, no points in the fourth quarter. The light's too bright for him. Why don't you handle that? Light's too bright for him.
For De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah. No points in the fourth quarter. Light's too bright for him.
Okay. Sure. Has nothing to do with his busted finger. We're also just going to ignore the fact this is his first postseason, and the dude's averaging 30 points per game, which is, I think, only Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic and some guy, Michelle Jordan or something like that. Those are the only guys that average more points in the postseason than De'Aaron Fox. So, no, I definitely wouldn't say the lights are too bright for him. If anything, I would say the guy definitely thrives under the bright lights.
His finger's too broken. That's what I would say.
I would say that's probably.
By the way, Anthony Edwards, you throwing him in jail?
My life. No, I am not throwing Anthony Edwards in jail. Definitely probably needs a talking to, but no, I'm not going to throw him in jail for moving it. I didn't even see he didn't
picked
throw
up a chair,
the seat, right? Yeah,
flung it. It looked like he was just so mad, you know, and he flings it from one side of the little aisleway to the other.
Yeah.
And I guess he did hit somebody, which is very unfortunate, but you know, it's not like he went in there.
No,
like
it wasn't.
Smash,
It was not some WWE stuff where he's, you know, slamming it over someone's back. Yeah, I don't understand what he was doing. It was a weird thing for him to do as he's exiting. Yeah, just kind of yank a chair and pull it to the other side. But no, I don't think he should.
He faces a fine. Yeah, hopefully he'll be fined.
He's not going to be joining Nate Diaz anytime soon in prison.
Real quick, I mentioned De'Aaron Fox's finger and a player that overcame a similar injury, as you may know. And I know he's not a favorite around here, you know, rest in peace.
Right.
2009 season, Kobe Bryant had a similar injury on the index finger of his shooting hand, his right hand. And he actually took a ball off the tip of his finger and he broke it in two places.
Yes.
And they said, okay, it's going to be like 6 weeks if you need surgery. He said, no, I don't want to have surgery. So they said, okay, you can play, but you're going to have to go through really painful treatments to keep it from swelling. And he went through the whole season, developed arthritis in the finger, ended up winning the NBA title. I think he was 5th in scoring, and he won the MVP of the finals. So Kobe actually played most of a season with that injury in the playoffs.
I think I looked into that as well when De'Aaron picked it up, and it said he injured it in December.
Yeah.
And then played the rest of the season.
Like, well, I'm going to play.
Which is just the most Kobe thing that you've ever heard, you know. And so, you know, I guess there's precedent for De'Aaron doing it, but it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be tough. And I also saw, Kobe developed arthritis because he played through
His
it.
finger was never the same.
It was never the same. So De'Aaron, hopefully I did hear yesterday and that De'Aaron, I think only broke it in one place it's more, I think they said it's on the inside of his finger. So it's not even necessarily, the tip or the middle of it. It's just kind of the inside of his left index finger. And he was kind of talking about how he jammed it on the steering wheel the other day when he was driving too. So, it's definitely, as we see, it's not a season ender here, but it's definitely something he's playing through. And again, I'm pretty confident, especially if you just look at his quarter by quarter breakdown as the game went on, I would have to suspect that he started to feel that thing more and more.
Yeah. Different opinion on the Kobe injury. He had about 4 months to get used to it. To the playoffs, so
that's true.
Well, that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
you're
like,
right.
De'Aaron's like having to figure out, okay,
on the fly. Yeah,
you got to figure this out now.
Yeah, and it looks
and like the entire coaching staff is like, we have to figure this out now.
You're right.
That's
you're
a great
right.
point. That is a great point.
I thought when he knocked the ball from behind out of Steph's hand and he poked it with that finger, and I don't think he was the same after that. So I think he re-injured it during the game.
Yeah,
or it's just just a matter of you just bang
exactly.
it
You just do it. You maybe you don't feel it throughout the entire game doing things, and then it just takes one time. That's the thing too, that it just takes one random weird bang, and that thing starts to get re-aggravated.
So let's see if we're on the same page here as far as our YouTube poll. Job one for the Kings tomorrow night: make 3-point shots, triple-double Domas, win the turnover battle. Control the boards, or did we say limit Looney?
Limit Looney. I like limit Looney because
Looney.
He's been a problem these last 2
Wow.
years.
See, isn't that amazing?
What
That's
one
one
of
of
our,
our,
not Steph Curry.
Put that on there.
Yeah, not Steph Curry, who's.
Steph's gonna do
that's the
thing.
thing is it's not even a question.
And they go hand in hand because how many times after Looney gets the rebound does he find Curry?
Yes, a lot.
He's just like with the one hand float, whatever it is, like boom.
Yeah. And how about Clay last night too? Who I thought Clay had one of his. Clay has been incredibly consistent. I think all postseason, just steady 20 points every single night. But last night he hit 5 triples. It felt like he had a real impact on last night's game. And when Clay's going, when Steph's hitting threes, they're just a really, really tough team to beat. And the Splash Brothers last night showed why they're the best shooting backcourt we've ever seen. Steph wasn't even that good from the perimeter, but his ability to finish at the rim, so understated. I mean, the fact that he can use his touch from the perimeter and just do some of the most ridiculous looking, like, I don't know if especially not the very last finish, the and one, but he had one in the late fourth quarter where he just kind of almost like hook shot scooped it over his head. And it went in. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and you just have to take your hat off to that guy. I mean, he's so good and so talented.
Yeah, and I know that's not easy for you to say.
It's not. No, you know how difficult that is for me to say, and you know how much it pained me to watch that man cook us. But got to give him his credit.
Quick thought on Domas before we take a timeout here, because I think he needs someone to stand up for him today, because so many people on the YouTube chat especially are coming after him. How about he gets to the foul line? Just, like 6, 7, 8 times. I don't think that's that ridiculous. He has not been going to the foul line at all.
No,
he's getting hammered.
Yeah, he's getting abused down there. I mean, it seems like every single time they're just swiping at him. And he's got to do a better job at getting to the line too. I think, there's been a lot of times where, like Mike Brown has talked about, they're kind of looking for fouls instead of looking to finish through contact. I would like to see Sabonis just kind of really, because I do think when you look for the foul, a lot of the time they're way less likely to give it to you.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Appreciate your patience. We'll get back to the phones. And coming up next, somebody on this show said, what about the first round of the playoffs? You got to make predictions. You got to be accountable. That's coming up. Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes. First time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune into Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast looking at bright sunshine. Plan for a very warm afternoon. Looking at a high today of 92 degrees with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com. Bonnie.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Since the 1950s, Warehouse Paint has been helping local homeowners and professionals bring color to life. Whether it's painting your home's exterior, repainting kitchen cabinets, or finding the perfect accent color, Warehouse Paint's expert team is here to help. You'll find a great selection of PPG and Benjamin Moore paints, along with local service you can trust. With 5 Sacramento area stores, Warehouse Paint is ready to help bring your next paint project to life. Visit warehousepaint.com for a store near you. Nothing tastes better than a craft beer on a beautiful afternoon. Sunrise Marketplace is transforming the Sunrise Mall parking lot into a backyard hangout on May 20th. There will be craft breweries, home brewers, cideries, meaderies, food trucks, and backyard games. This will be one of the best events happening this year. Tickets are on sale now at shopsmp.com. Use discount code HBREW23 for $5 off general admission. Every ticket helps support Citrus Heights Heart and Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Hack Car Wash.
California, the birthplace of all things cool. Beautiful people, perfect beaches, and cruising with the top down on Route 66. It does get quite hot here, though, so now that spring has sprung, Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Air is offering a full air conditioning system inspection and tune-up for just $66. Call 455-4548 and just say Route 66 to get your kicks and stay cool. Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Air, 455-4548 or at aceplumbing.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The Subaru service event is on at Maida Subaru Sacramento, with the largest Subaru service facility in the Sacramento area. Factory trained technicians, express service, and the all-new cafe now open inside Maida Subaru. Learn more at maidasubaru.com.
February 2023. Sactown Sports headlines.
I'm
Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sac. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow when they will have the 99th pick overall. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Quick look at our poll on the YouTube chat. It's only been up about 4 minutes now. Job one for the Kings tomorrow night. Make your shot, especially your threes, is the leading vote getter at 59%.
89.
Yeah. Win the turnover battle. Limit Looney, 18%. Triple-double Domas, no votes. Nothing. No one thinks that's that important.
I'll vote for that one right now.
All right.
Boom. 6% now. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that would go a long ways towards getting the Kings back towards playing, Kings basketball.
In my opinion, if we look at the box score at the end of Game 6 and we see Domantas Sabonis got a triple-double, I just have a tough time believing that means that the Kings lost. I can't see how, just with everything that would mean. Obviously, we've talked about how, a lot of those assists come off of Kevin Huerter dribble handoffs and Keegan Murray dribble handoffs and him finding cutters as well. If Sabonis is finding other guys and getting other guys involved on top of his game, and really De'Aaron Fox's game isn't dependent at all on how Sabonis does. So if you can get De'Aaron Fox playing well, you can get Sabonis getting other guys to play well. Presumably Sabonis plays well. I don't see how the Kings lose that.
Yeah, it's been a great season no matter what. Hopefully they'll win. Can't imagine how. Well, I can't imagine. We've seen Game 7s in Sacramento before.
Yeah.
They're tremendous. That would be awesome. I just hope at the very least that the Kings play well and that they don't, get crushed.
Yeah. Well, as long as Mike Brown doesn't sit his two guys, right? That way, like a caller threw out earlier. I believe that this Kings team will compete, and especially Mike Brown. Mike Brown is the type of guy, and we've seen it. We saw it in Game 4. This team doesn't stop until that final whistle is blown, okay? Like, Golden State had a comfortable lead at the end of Game 4. The Kings made a lot of really, really clutch plays down the stretch. They also made some really dumb plays down the stretch of Game 4.
Are you playing with house money if you're the Kings at this point? It's like, hey, look, they're at home. They're supposed to win this game. This is a clincher. They're the defending champs.
Sure.
Let's have some fun.
Sure.
Let's throw a little scare at them.
I don't think that's
Let's send them back to our place.
I don't think that's the right mindset to have right now. I think that this is house money is almost like, it doesn't matter what happens. We can win, we can lose, it's fine. I think as long as the Kings are that's a fine approach, and that's the approach I'm going to take once the series is over. But while the series is still going on, let's have some desperation. Let's know that this is really end all be all. This is not, it's fine if we lose. Treat Game 6 like it's your last, because it very well could be. So I hope that they treat it with a certain level of desperation that we just haven't seen so far.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't view this as, it was a good season and we know the game plan. We're going to try and execute it. I want to see them really, really dig deep and give themselves a performance that we haven't seen yet.
I'm just trying to find the best way to ensure that they're going to play loose. Some of the players, the way they've played already, some of the players haven't played well. At times they've looked tight. And if it's like, oh, this is it, you better win, I don't know they can handle that. Whereas maybe some of the players can. Some players thrive on that. Others, if it's a matter of, what, go out there and play your game.
Yeah.
That's money. So we'll see.
Don't think about it. Just play.
Yeah. I would give that advice to Sabonis. If anybody, Sabonis and Keegan, to me, and maybe Kevin as well, the three guys who have struggled, I would say maybe they kind of need to loosen up a bit. And I feel like, especially, Keegan and Kevin, it feels like that at this point they're aware of their struggles, Kevin especially. And I can see it starting to kind of affect how aggressive he is, because Kevin just hasn't looked the same really all series long.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's see if Kenny's still there. Kenny, thanks for hanging on. You're on with Whitey and Watkins. What's going on?
Great show, man. Great show.
Appreciate it.
I have a couple of things. like last night, if you watch, I forget who it was. It might have been Looney. Was standing in the paint for like 10 seconds, no whistle. And then the first 2 quarters, Keegan Murray running around, shooting threes and making them. And then the third quarter and fourth quarter, he just stands over in the corner and doesn't move to try to get open. He needs to move around, don't you think?
I wish it was
Thanks,
just
Kenny.
I wish it was just the second half, but it was Keegan Murray took his last field goal attempt in that that was Kenny. Kenny is correct. He was shooting the ball really well, 4 of 5, 2 of 2 from 3 in that first quarter. Then didn't take another shot. That last shot happened at the 6-minute mark exactly, perfectly halfway through the first quarter. Didn't take another shot the entirety of the game until literally the final whistle, and I don't think that actually counted as an attempt.
As I said earlier with Dave, I think I can explain part of that. I know watching the game last night, it was evident that Keegan Murray was keenly aware that Jordan Poole was trying to guard him, and he took full advantage of that, and he knew he's bigger than Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's not a good defender, and then I'm assuming, I have to go back and watch it again, I'm assuming they switched up. I know Poole didn't play that. Poole had a weird game. That take foul he took was weird.
Super strange.
So I'm assuming they switched
Poole
up a little bit defensively, so that partly explains why Keegan wasn't as aggressive, but one shot the rest of the way. That's a mystery.
Yeah, you also pointed out pre-show as well. I completely forgot about this moment. Keegan Murray got hurt yesterday. We saw.
That's right.
There was a really strange moment where he was guarding
Clay.
Yeah, he was guarding Klay Thompson, and I think Klay might have even had him posted up for a second. And as he posted him up, you just saw Keegan curl up and go down and completely stop.
Which you never see when a guy's guarding somebody.
He said, I forget a basketball game right now.
Yeah.
Whatever happened is more like he stopped playing defense totally. And I don't know if it was his wrist, his hand. I know he hurt his hand earlier this season. He's not wearing tape on it anymore. Maybe there is a re-aggravation there, but Keegan clearly walked over to the other side of the court. I think he checked out immediately. He definitely got hurt yesterday. So it would, we haven't seen anything about, any update on that, but I definitely would be surprised if that didn't have something to do with it, because it was a really strange moment.
That is a great point you just made. I was doing a show. I think I was doing a show with Jay Mars. I was in for Dave long time ago during the regular season. No, it was a show I was doing with Rami, and we talked to Jordy Fernandez, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking to him. I asked him about, hey, when you have a guy like Sabonis who is playing hurt, what message does that send? And he said, the coach said, that's a great message, and it's not just him, it's Keegan too. And we both went, wait, what? And I think Keegan's had that hand issue, as you just referenced, that's been more of a problem for him than they've let on, that we know publicly.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, he had his hand wrapped for maybe half the season or so, but if I'm not mistaken, he no longer wears any wrap on that hand. So Keegan is also dealing with something. And to me, again, if you rewatch the game or just rewatch that sequence, it's really clear that something, I don't want to, try and hint at the severity of it, but
sharp pain.
In order for somebody, again, like if you rewatch it, he completely stopped playing. Like nothing else mattered in that moment except for Keegan's hand or wrist or whatever it was.
So very sharp, whatever it was.
Yeah.
To cause someone to go, my wrist.
I would guess that it had to do with that as well.
By the way, I mentioned something about you got to be accountable. Just looking real quickly at some of our predictions we made before the playoffs started. I got to call myself out on this one. The Cavaliers slogan, these playoff teams have slogans on their shirts, and theirs is let them know. Someone needs to let them know you don't have any more games. Hopefully someone will let them know.
That's gold-blooded right there.
But when we made our predictions, I remember saying, I like the Cavs over the Knicks, and you may have too, but you didn't go this far. I said, the Cavs, this gets worse. I said, that's a team that down the road, they could give the Bucks or the Celtics some problems. So
0 for 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I admit that.
You want to maybe predict a Warriors win here?
Kind of a letdown in that area. Donovan Mitchell, he's a really good player. I don't think he's the player that the Cavs need him to be, but I thought they were going to handle the Knicks.
Yeah, I haven't never been the biggest Donovan Mitchell guy. I respect him as a player. He's a great talent, but I've just never been a fan of. He really turns into a massive ball hog, especially down the stretch.
He's a high volume shooter.
High volume
shooter.
The
ball's not going in.
And the ball's not
You're
going
not
in.
helping
He's going to keep letting that thing fly for better or worse. And to me, if Cleveland wants to be better, they got to get more guys involved. Darius Garland's one hell of a talent. Evan Mobley, you'd like to see him develop more of an offensive game. I know you have some investment in Evan Mobley card stock, so you're heavily invested in the Evan Mobley future. They have a real talented team. They should not, especially in a 3-1, they should not have lost to the Knicks. That's definitely back to the drawing board for them. That's another failed season right there.
Well, I was going to say my prediction, Giannis, you know what? I failed. I said the Cavs are going to win. That's a failure, Giannis. I failed, okay? I'm okay with it. I can live with it, but it's definitely a failure.
Yeah. I'll say that the Knicks crowd has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like the Knicks fans have been going wild all postseason. Yeah. I was saying, if you want to see like great fan versus fan, like Kings-Knicks finals would be incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about on the court, just like what the fans would bring to both games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't they play, you may know this, Verlad, the Kings and the Knicks play in the finals in a movie. It's like he's not that into it.
Oh man, what is it? It's the one with
yeah, they actually play in the finals.
How to Lose a Man. How to Lose a Man in 10 Days.
That's it. Yes.
When was that filmed? Whose idea?
I didn't see it, but I think my daughter saw it and they told me about it.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
You know,
is Vlade in that movie?
Maybe next year. Maybe next year we'll see a Kings. That would be spectacular, by the way. Though those two crowds would be incredible. And I would also love to go to the Garden. You know, if Sactown Sports 1140 would like to send me out to Madison Square Garden, I wouldn't be too upset at that.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You know what else is going on? The NFL draft. We'll get you more ready for the draft than Bill Belichick's dog next on Chris and Company, White and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Cattles and Rami.
I'm going with one of the ones that gets on my nerves is this guy plays through the whistle. Plays through the whistle. No, he doesn't.
Simone. He's got great football IQ,
That's
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I'm next. He's a hard hat guy. Yeah.
Yep.
He puts his hard hat on and he goes to work, Rami.
Lunch pail guy. Yeah, I had hard hat and lunch pail. It was the first on my draft board.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Feel and hear the power of America's muscle cars and more at the Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Enjoy the open race panic and be immersed among the teams. From the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of turn 1, it's 3 days of racing thrills for the whole family. For tickets, call 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. The Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course is Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Players love Bartley Kavanaugh's fun design and great mixture of holes. Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. Bartley Kavanaugh offers a great pro shop, help planning your tournament or wedding, and a relaxing outdoor veranda for a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
He's Chris Watkins, Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason. Thanks for being with us today. We're sifting through the wreckage of a tough Kings loss. Probably the most difficult Kings loss of the season, all things considered.
Yeah, I think so, especially just with everything that leads into it. The Minnesota loss for sure still sticks out as, the opportunity for the Kings to clinch. That one just hurt because it felt like everything was lining up so perfectly. Last night, obviously, with the stakes of everything, that one hurts pretty bad. And especially today, seeing everybody's fault, everybody just kind of going through it. Both in our chat, on social media.
The pitchforks and the torches coming from Domas.
And the white flags. White flags are being waved here. And it's definitely the bleakest that it's looked from Kings fans, at least. But again, there's still hope. It's not over. This thing can come back right here to Sacramento on Sunday. Okay, we can turn this thing around quickly. They just got to execute. They got to take care of what they
really
need to take
execute. Yeah. Job one, according to Kings fans responding to our YouTube chat, job one tomorrow night is make shots, especially your threes. That's the one.
Especially your threes. A lot easier said than done, but absolutely. Again, they're getting some really, really good looks. Just not knocking them down from the guys that you would need and expect to knock them down.
How many last night did Huerter have that were just in and out? Just like it wasn't long, it wasn't short, just
all of them didn't fall. Yeah. And he did a good job of, bringing the ball into the paint. But you're right, Chris. There was a couple, and it was that way in game 1 and 2 as well, where it was like halfway down, circling, and then just pops out. And it's like, those are, again, super demoralizing.
Is it just me? And if it's just me, we'll move on. Or do white guys just not look very good in headbands?
He definitely
in general. I mean, anybody. I don't think I ever wore one for that reason. I mean, some guys is like,
it definitely
like
looks
Caruso's like, well, I guess it works for you.
Yeah.
But
it definitely makes you look like a little bit more of not of a joke, but it looks like you are joking when you wear the headband for whatever reason. Like yeah, you're right. Caruso does look a little bit more natural, but when Kevin has it on, it kind of looks like it's like, oh yeah, that's funny. You got the headband. He looks like a shooter at the YMCA.
Yeah,
like I would definitely pick him like second or third on my team. But
I mean, J-Well used to wear one for a while. It's like,
really? Oh yeah. That doesn't work. That doesn't mentally.
I don't know.
Seems strange.
Maybe it's just me.
Headbands in general, though, also kind of don't really look great on a lot of people.
For some guys, some guys like, I mean, it took me a long time when LeBron took his off. I was like, put it back on.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Put it back on.
And I was like, probably should put it back.
I think because it kept getting higher.
Yeah, exactly. He just kept, and then after a while, it was just kind of sitting on his head like a halo or something like that. So he was like, I probably just need to get rid of this.
All right, so the NBA playoffs continuing tonight. Only one game. Why is there only one stinking basketball game tonight? Because we have the National Football League draft.
Yeah, love that.
And it's time for Chris Watkins to bring us our Chris and Company NFL draft preview.
Yes. So obviously, me and Whitey have been in the thick of this playoff race with the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors, so we haven't had a ton of time to dive deep, much like I'm sure a lot of people listening, into the NFL draft this year. So we're gonna kind of make a game out of this. We're gonna go a little over under, yes or no, simple draft recap here.
How much will you watch?
How much of the draft will I watch? I'll probably watch all of the first round tonight. I've made it very clear I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. I'm hearing a lot of whispers that the Vikings might try and move up, grab a quarterback in this first round.
Pass.
Hey, they've done it before and it worked out pretty well. Okay, the Vikings didn't. They're I think the only team to ever have the clock run out on them. Still ended up getting Kevin Williams, who was a nice little D tackle for him. So. Maybe it worked one time. Why not? It's
sure.
Give them what they're not expecting. First question, Whitey. How many QBs will go in the first round tonight? I've got the over/under at 4.5. Just to list the names out there. We assume Bryce Young will go. C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. Those 4 seem to almost be locks. The one question, will Hendon Hooker, Tennessee quarterback, get drafted? He's been mocked in a couple first rounds, and I believe in Mel Kiper's most recent one, Hendon Hooker is projected to go number 31, still making him a first-round pick. 4.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I think the first 4 you mentioned will be taken. I'm kind of pulling for the Colts in this draft since we don't have the 49ers involved in the first round, and Shane Steichen from Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, I believe.
Yeah, and I hope that they don't get carried away and take Richardson.
Yeah, he's a project.
Yes,
he's definitely a project.
And I can see Shane Steichen with his reputation going,
I can fix that.
I hope that doesn't happen, but I think it'll be 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'm going to say 5. I've heard way too many whispers, and, it could be if Anthony Richardson does end up falling to the 20s, then I think you're probably going to be right. But if we see a run of quarterbacks early in the draft, I could see Hendon Hooker being a late first-round pick. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to say 5. 5 QBs in this first round. Question number 2, Oakland Raiders. Oh my gosh, Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry,
That's
Las
all right.
Vegas Raiders.
You actually said it properly.
Yeah, I know. I did say it properly. Will they go QB first round?
No, they're going to take DB out of Oregon, Christian Gonzalez.
That's
going to be a great pick.
That's what they should do.
Yeah.
I don't think, Jimmy G obviously isn't a long-term fit, but I think that their defense just needs so much help. I'm going to go with a no for that. They're not going to go with Will Levis, who they've been talked heavily about. San Francisco 49ers, first pick in their draft, number 99 right now. Will that be the first pick that the Niners make at number 99, or will they move up?
I think that's where they'll stay.
Yeah. I think they move up. A 99 is pretty far back. The Niners don't have a ton of needs. Kyle Madsen did a great job of laying it out for me, all of the needs the 49ers have. Really, it's just depth and right tackle. I could see the Niners moving up and addressing maybe that right tackle spot, and the rest just kind of using, I think they have 11 picks in this draft to just kind of address the depth. I will say no, their first pick. I bet they trade up into the second round. They probably still won't go tonight, though. That'd be pretty crazy. Tonight could be the last night that we see Trey Lance as a San Francisco 49er. Do you think Trey Lance gets moved tonight?
No, but I think eventually he's going to get traded to the Titans.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen tonight.
Do you think it involves this draft cycle at all? Will a pick from this draft be used to get Trey Lance?
No, I don't think so.
I agree. I think Lance is still on this team moving forward. Total trades tonight, 9 last season. Will there be more than 9 trades this year? 9 felt like a lot last year. I'm going to go under.
I'll take the over if you're going under.
Okay. Just for controversy. Yeah. Last one here. This is my favorite one.
I got no chance to win that
This is my favorite. SEC players in round 1. Mel Kiper in his most recent mock draft had 11 SEC players going. We're putting that against Shohei Ohtani.
Showtime!
Strikeouts tonight. He plays the Oakland A's. He had 11 strikeouts in his last inning. It will be a day game.
Yeah.
10 Ks in opening night against the Oakland A's. Will Shohei have more strikeouts, or will the SEC have more first-round picks tonight?
Basically, what this comes down to is, do I want to bet on Shohei Ohtani or Mel Kiper? Right?
Yes,
and I'm going showtime. I think he had 11 strikeouts his last start against the Royals or somebody.
Yes.
Nothing against the swinging A's, but I'm going Ohtani.
I like it. I'll go Mel Kiper then. Why not? We'll say I'll say, you know what? There's always a team that will the Seahawks, the Raiders always like to go way off the board and just go for namesake and value. So I'll say, yeah, SEC players. I'm going to say there's going to be 12. I'll say 12.
You know
SEC.
what's at stake here besides pride?
No, I don't. Is it a fingertip that
I think we
can be
should
donated?
50 of Christopher Lott's dollars.
Ooh, sounds good to me.
Donate the prize.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I'm going to have to come up with 49 more.
Sounds good. You got until tomorrow.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be watching basketball mostly.
Yeah, I will probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up
I'll dual
next,
screen it.
we got to get back to it. The Kings, the game of the year tomorrow. What's the deal with Domas? That's next. Chris and Company, White and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
For your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At the Gonzalez Law Office, we focus on trials and litigation to achieve the best result. For over a decade, Jonathan Gonzalez has conducted more than 60 jury trials to verdict, and since 2016, has only lost 2. We understand how to fight for our clients and make sure our clients get the best results. We don't settle for less, and neither should you. Call us to handle all your criminal and injury cases. 916-304-9187. That's 916-304-9187. Or visit us at saclegaldefense.com.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made-in-the-USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try and get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sac. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. There's only one NBA game tonight. The Atlanta Hawks host the Boston Celtics in Game 6 after the Hawks comeback win in Boston on Tuesday. If the Celtics win tonight, they will face the 76ers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. If the Hawks win, they will go back to Boston for Game 7. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board for the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow, where they have the 99th pick overall. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
It's not over. If the Kings win tomorrow night, we would have a 7th game in Sacramento. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Let's make that happen.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Kevin Michael, Whitey
We deserve
Gleason,
it.
Chris Watkins, Whitey and Watkins here. Sactown Sports. Not going to be easy, of course. Our YouTube chat poll, what do the Kings need to do? What's job one tomorrow night if they're going to extend this series? Make your 3-point shots is the number one answer at this point. But there's no dancing around it. Domas has been a disappointment for the Kings to this point. Has not played as well as Kings fans hoped they would. Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't played as well as he hoped he would.
Yeah, definitely not.
And you look at his numbers, and the one number that really stands out here, and I know that his numbers are down as far as assists and this and that. He got 20 turnovers so far in the series, more than any other King. And that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not okay at all. I mean, especially for how Sabonis played all year. You know, he was definitely, I wouldn't say turnover prone, but he would get, 2 to 3 turnovers a game during the regular season.
You're facilitating the offense.
But that also came with 7 assists, right? You were getting at least 7 assists a night. And yeah, I mean, his turnover to assist ratio right now is really bad. It's 22 assists to 20 turnovers. That's not where you want to be. No. You don't want to be averaging 1 assist for every turnover you get. That pretty much negates all the good that you're doing. So it is a matter too. It's not just the fact that, yeah, the Warriors are doing a good job of making sure Sabonis doesn't get his teammates involved. It's also a matter of Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox as well. De'Aaron had 6 turnovers last night. They just have to be better at holding on to the ball and making good decisions with the ball if they're going to have the ball in their hands as often as they do.
Yeah, 18 turnovers for Fox, so it's obviously 38 turnovers.
Yeah,
between the 5 games between the two of them.
It's not great.
It's not helping.
Not helping at all.
And De'Aaron Fox's finger obviously may have something to do with that, and that certainly was a factor last night. But that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, everybody's playing injured, right? I mean, that's the old cliche is that at this point in the season, nobody's 100%. And, Domas, I know I heard him joke around at shoot around yesterday that he said, yeah, like if De'Aaron wouldn't have played, we probably would have given him hell for it because we're all hurting. Everybody, Sabonis' thumb is hurting. We just mentioned Keegan's hand hurting even before last night. Everybody's going to have a little bit of something. As a matter of fact, even how about that fall from Malik Monk last night? Pretty scary moment, right? I mean, that was definitely the most quiet it was all night long.
Yeah, Oladipo a couple games ago had a similar fall.
That was terrible.
And you could see when it happened, like his knee, he just tore up his knee. So based on Gary Payton's reaction last night when Monk went down, and the way Payton was like kneeling over him, it looked really bad. And hopefully he's okay. Yeah. It was more, I guess, the muscle than anything with the knee.
Right.
Maybe we'll find out more. But did you see also when Monk went to the foul line, GP2 went over to him and said something to him like, dude, I'm glad you're okay, whatever it was.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a real class act from GP last night. I was really not impressed because that's a decent human thing to do, but it was a really cool moment for him. Like you said, when Monk was on the ground,
it looked potentially catastrophic. Yeah, thank goodness it wasn't.
Because Malik instantly went to the back of his knee too, which is exactly where you don't want to see. Yeah, and so it was really cool to see GP not. I don't think remorse is the right word. Remorseful seems like it was intentional.
And I don't even think he did anything, but still, he was there.
Their feet just kind of got caught up. I'm sure he felt that he knew that Malik was going to fall weird. But it was really cool. You're right to see GP show that level of respect. And then, after he got up, it was really cool to see like CGP essentially say like, hey man, like, sorry, or whatever he said. Just it was a really cool moment as competitors to see them come together in that moment.
I was impressed with the character the Kings displayed last night. I mean, if that ends up being, and hopefully it won't be, but if that ends up being the last game they play this year at Golden One, that's unfortunate, but I'd be fine with it in this sense. I know some players last night, as we've discussed, they didn't play well, but they found a way to compete in the fourth quarter when their best player was unable to handle the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Monk, he went above and beyond, and sometimes he tried to do too much, but he recognized no one else is going to do it.
That was my thing.
They scrapped in that fourth quarter when the odds were really against them.
Yeah, Malik. I wonder how much De'Aaron let his teammates know how he was feeling too, because Malik had the ball in his hands a lot in that second half. He had no point. Malik had no points in the first half, and then had all 21 of his points in the second half.
He was running the offense.
The ball was in his hands a majority of the time. He's the one who was the fourth quarter guy last night. 14 points just in the fourth quarter. That's some stuff that's reserved for De'Aaron Fox. He also had 2 assists, 2 steals as well in that fourth. And De'Aaron was doing really, I don't want to say he was doing nothing, but he was clearly hampered. 0 points, 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. 2 assists in that fourth quarter, 2 turnovers as well. And then got a really, actually, I will say, and I don't know if this is the strip you were talking about, but did get a really, really clutch steal on Steph Curry late in that fourth quarter. That was probably the biggest play he made in that fourth quarter, but very, very uncharacteristic for De'Aaron to play the way he did. And, Kings technically won the quarter 26-24, but that was not the fourth quarter performance that they really needed from the team as a whole. It was not going to be good enough to only have Malik Monk and Sabonis carrying the load offensively. They needed their guy last night, and for a multitude of reasons, De'Aaron wasn't able to give it to him.
Yeah, made it even tougher to swallow. As I mentioned earlier, anybody who watched the game on TNT knows this. At one point there in the fourth quarter, they went to commercial, and the commercial on TNT was an NBA app promo, and they talked about the NBA app and Pass the Rock is a feature they have on there, and it was De'Aaron Fox, and he was sitting there, and they showed some of his highlights in the fourth quarter, and it was De'Aaron Fox, and fourth quarter, that's my time. And it's like, no, why play that now when his finger's broken and he can't do it?
Tough. It was really, really tough. And I don't know if I want to call it blame or an excuse, but again, like you have to acknowledge the reality of the fact that the man's finger is broken. This is, like Verlon mentioned too, this is his first game. Like he really had to figure all of this out on the fly. On Wednesday, on Tuesday they had practice, non-contact. Yesterday didn't do much of anything, I assume, at shoot around either. So this was really the first game action besides the final few minutes of game 4 that he had really been stress testing this finger. And for him to even put the performance that he put together, we can't lose the forest for the trees here, or whatever the saying is. We need to look at the fact that this man with a busted up finger still led his team in points and put them in a position, down the stretch to win the game. And, sure, he wasn't his normal self in the fourth quarter.
If Monk made that 3, it would have been tied.
Yes. Yeah. And there were some really bad decisions in that fourth quarter, and De'Aaron was a part of that as well. But just not the performance they needed from their guy in that moment.
So if Fox is struggling again tomorrow in the fourth quarter, and maybe it looked to me like he banged it, so he was fine, and then he wasn't, which could happen. Do you consider, it's like we win or we go home? Would you replace him? And again, more importantly, with Sabonis, is there any adjustment that can be made here? How do you get him going when you probably need him more tomorrow than you have at any point in this series? Draymond Green made some adjustments. Draymond Green look, let's face it, he's not popular around here. He was amazing last night. He had a fabulous game. Sabonis was taking more of those mid-range jumpers. Clearly the Warriors wanted him to, but he made a few. So I'm wondering what the adjustment is for Sabonis, because the Kings are going to need him if they're going to have any chance of bringing this thing back to Sac.
Yeah, it's really tough, and I wish I had an answer, but I don't know what the answer is to get him more involved, because he's already so involved, right, with his dribble handoff game. I don't see them, forcing post-up attempts or anything like that, especially, like the caller mentioned earlier, he doesn't have a right hand right now. Like he straight up just doesn't go to it. There was a moment last night where he got the ball out on the perimeter. They're sagging off of him. And then he did attack the lane, and Kevon Looney just completely gave up the right. So he was like, I dare you. I will give you a right-handed layup right now if you want it. And Sabonis still opted to back him down and take a hook shot over him instead. To me, that points that not only does Sabonis not use his right hand, and how injured is that right hand, but also Golden State is fully aware that we really only need to worry about this guy going to his left side, which could also contribute to how poorly he is playing. Again, not making excuses, but the fact he can't use his right hand in a 7-game series, teams are going to figure that out. And that's a big, if you essentially just cut off half of your body, that makes you a lot easier to defend than if you can at least switch it up sometimes. And he's just not able to do that right now.
I think he's got to spot up maybe a little closer to the basket than he has been. And if he spots up like foul line or a little closer, a few feet here make a huge difference here between a 17-footer and a 15-footer. And if he can get the ball, that 17-footer, you just got to let it fly. The 17, 18 feet, the Warriors are like, you go ahead. But look, let's be honest, the odds are against you. So you may have to try some things that you wouldn't try, because right now the percentages say you're probably going to lose if you keep doing what you're doing. So that would be one adjustment I'd consider. Make the catch. If you're at the foul line or even a little closer, you make that catch, you shoot it right away.
Yeah, I think the only problem that I see with that is that it brings in the dribble handoff game, because the reason why he's so far out there is because he's setting the screen for the 3-point shooter, Kevin Huerter or Keegan Murray, to come off of him and already be at the line. And so the more and more you move him in closer to the free throw line, the more, they might have to take a step back in order to get to the 3-point line. But also, when you're not hitting threes at the rate that you should, maybe you should probably bring that dribble handoff game a little bit further in. So, there's pluses and minuses, but I think at the end of the day, if you're making the shot, I'm perfectly okay with a long 2 going in over a 3 just not falling at all.
Gets us back to job 1 tomorrow. The Kings have to
make shots.
Yeah. How else do they bring this thing back to sack? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Back with that in 90 seconds. Chris and Company, White and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Whether it be between the third and the fourth or at some point, we got to embrace basketball hell, man. Now that we're a good team, that's a whole different meaning. And again, not trying to sell merchandise for the Kings, but there's lots of hell merchandise out there.
It would sell. Hell would sell.
Hell sells. Who's buying?
Yes. I think everybody's in.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton.
.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Fasten your seatbelt. Today at practice, Coach Brown said we're going to have the kitchen sink ready. We're ready to prove the doubters wrong. Have the kitchen sink ready. See, that's what I'm saying, Chris. You're probably going to lose anyway. The odds say you're going to lose. Now, you may not. Obviously, you have a chance. But if you've got any tricks left in your bag, tomorrow's the time.
It is. There's
to bring him out.
No better time than the present.
So what are we talking about here?
I've been when you weren't here, obviously, when we learned the news that De'Aaron might possibly miss Game 5, I was saying a similar thing where it's like, let's get weird. Let's throw. I kind of half jokingly said, like, let's put Sabonis and Len out there together for some minutes.
That's where I was going.
Let's do. Me and Kyle, a lot of the time we're talking, should they throw Davion Mitchell into the starting lineup, for Kevin Huerter, who's really struggled. That way you can get, more defense on Steph from the jump.
You don't want to leave anything on the shelf, right? You don't want to lose and go, man, I wonder if that would have worked.
Yeah, exactly. The Kessler-Edwards conversation.
Yes.
Oh, would Kessler-Edwards make an impact in this series? Well, there's a great time to figure it out, and that's right now with only one game possibly left in your season. You're completely right. You don't want to leave anything out there, and the fact that Mike Brown has said now, and you had to figure the kitchen sink is ready to be thrown out as well. We should be expecting to see some things that we haven't seen. Maybe there is a Chimezie Metu moment incoming. Maybe we see Trey Lyles at the 5, something that we thought we would see heading into this postseason, but with this Golden State matchup, it didn't make a lot of sense.
TD's going to get some run. He's going to have a chance to make some
shots. Wouldn't surprise me, right? Because it's like, yeah, these guys need to hit shots, and who can hit shots at the very least? His defense comes and goes, but we've seen Terrence Davis at points in this season be incredibly explosive, and they can just use people to knock down shots. Right
Maybe they tell Rashawn Holmes, your only job is to box out Looney.
Let me tell you something about Rashawn Holmes yesterday. I realized yesterday, I've thought about this. Rashawn Holmes has no intention of coming into these games. You can see from he's in the second row on the bench, not even on the first row. He wears like the warm-up still. He's got his hair down. That man has no intention of entering a basketball game anytime he steps on the floor. It's really crazy. It's one of the most wild things I think I can remember seeing. Just a guy going from incredibly important and really he was a good starter for the Sacramento Kings.
And then
everyone who watched really appreciated what Rashawn did for this team.
And John Hollinger said, I think it was last year, he said Rashawn Holmes is the best backup center in the NBA.
He looked like, off of his production as a starter, and then if you were to say, okay, you're getting that guy, but just in more limited minutes, absolutely would have been one of the best backup centers. But just to go from, again, starter, guy who was 14 and 10 and had a push shot that felt like it went in 99% of the time, to a guy
you need to try that push shot in
I should, from the Nerf hoot, because it's not enough. The jump shot is not working, so the push shot might be super, super helpful. To just see him go from everything to nothing is ridiculous.
Strange.
It's just crazy. It's really, really strange.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The kitchen sink is ready. What would you have in your kitchen sink? And what is your level of faith in the Kings that they can force a 7th game? Let's go to Michael on Sactown Sports. Hey, Michael, you're on with Watkins and Whitey. Thanks for hanging. What's up?
Hey, man, when you first put me on hold, I was going to say, when I got on the line, I was going to say, they need to make their shots. And as soon as I thought that, I hear Whitey go, well, they need to make shots. And I'm like, okay, that's what I was going to say. But think about it. They lost 2 games. They lost one by 1 point. They lost one by 7 points. If they make 5 shots in the game where they lost by 1, if they make 3 shots in the game, or 4 shots in the game they lost by 7, they win them both. They win the series 4 games to 1.
Gotcha, Michael. So, and we're having a little bit of an issue with your phone. Apologize. Thanks for hanging on. Yeah, make shots. It's unfortunately not that simple, especially the way the Warriors are defending. Now, the Warriors would have you believe, they're missing shots, but we have a little something to do with that, too.
Yeah, for sure. Again, credit the Warriors who have really made the Kings they have not been able to play the games that they've wanted to play. The Kings love to play the dribble handoff game. The Warriors have completely taken that away. They've also taken away the cutters as well, but the Kings have gotten a lot of open looks, and especially in games 1 and 2, games 3 and 4. I think Will Z had the stats of exactly how poor they were shooting on wide open looks. It was like 20 plus wide open looks, and they had only hit 2 or 3 of them.
If we're being honest here, and that's what we do here.
Absolutely.
Don't you have to think, it has to have something to do with the magnitude of the moment.
Sure.
You lose your focus a little bit because of the importance of the shot in the playoffs. because these are shots they've made. I think, what are they, 9th in the league in the regular season?
Yep.
Top 10 in percentage.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you can't make one. They're down there with the Knicks in the playoffs for
Yeah.
teams shooting threes.
Not where you want to be.
Yeah. And some of it's got to be the inexperience.
Absolutely. You know, it's cliche, but every single possession matters a lot more in the postseason. And so when you miss those threes, it's like it's really, really devastating for your team. And so, obviously there's more psychological pressure on you heading into these postseason games, but the great players rise above it. And, this is what separates the good teams, the great teams from the historic teams is being able to knock down really tough. I mean, here's the thing too, Whitey, this is only the first round. Okay.
Mhm.
This is supposed to be the easy part. And, I know a caller also mentioned this earlier that feels like both of these two teams will probably do pretty well the remainder of this postseason. Feels like these two teams are two of the better teams that we've seen specifically in this Western Conference. I would suspect whoever wins this series, I think will probably go on to at least the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, it's been really tough, and no one said it was going to be easy. You got to knock down your shots, and you especially got to knock down the ones that are wide open.
Is it Metu time? If we're talking about the kitchen sink again.
I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't think so.
As you pointed out earlier, to your credit, he had his moments against the Warriors this year.
He did. He had his moments against the Warriors
Runs
this
the
year.
floor, athletic.
It's more just what does he provide besides rim running? And that's really it. He's a long athletic body that, they can occasionally in the regular season, they would run a lob play for him. I don't think that would work in the postseason because again, teams know so much about you. I don't know.
What's the downside? He's just not the great.
He's not a shot
defender.
blocker. I mean, he's not a shot blocker. He's not a defender. He looks like a guy who should have the foot speed or just the speed in general to be able to be switchable, but he's not. He's just not a good defender. Doesn't get low enough in his stance and doesn't really provide much of anything.
I just
great,
think I have to try.
I'm also
things.
just not a Chimez Metu guy.
I understand that. I just think at this point the Kings need to try some things that they wouldn't have haven't tried to this point. Just this isn't working. We're down 3-2, and some of it's not our doing. We have played well in some of these games, but we're down 3-2 and they're building.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do we have that might work?
Yeah. To me, that's where Kessler Edwards, Terrence Davis comes in. I know that rebounding has been an issue. I just don't think Chimezi Metu is going to solve your rebounding issue. I don't think he's going to solve your paint protection issue. I think that the bigger issue is, like the poll says, hitting shots. And to me, that's Terrence Davis. You could argue that, maybe slowing down the Splash Brothers is another big key. That's Kessler Edwards. The Kings, unfortunately, I think what they could really use too is another forward, another guy who can provide kind of what Andrew Wiggins is providing to Golden State, maybe on a lesser level. And, that guy should be Harrison Barnes, but we just haven't seen a really good performance from Harrison, who, by the way, is in a contract year.
I was very excited when Alex Len played in the first game. I just had a weird hunch that we might see him because of how much he played.
You called it.
Yeah, and he played. But I think at this point, I think the Warriors have seen it, and I don't think now.
Yeah.
I think it's run its course.
Yeah, it does not quite. Those Alex
That's nothing
Len
against
minutes.
him, but I don't think the Warriors like, oh no. I think he was -3 last night again.
He was -6.
-6.
He was -6 last night. Yeah, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 foul, 1 turnover.
And he's fine, but I just don't think it's any look.
It's
that
not an
the
advantage.
Warriors are
Right.
Oh boy, what are we going to do now? I don't think they have to adjust to it.
Definitely.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. David with some thoughts on the Kings lineup. Hey, David, you're on with Watkins and Whitey. What's up?
Guys, thank you. Hear me out for a second.
Okay.
I would like to see to start Mitchell, Monk, Barnes, Lyles, and Sabonis, and then give me Murray, Huerter, and Fox off the bench. And you can sprinkle in some Lin minutes just to give some bonus some rest. But what do you guys think?
What's the just because Fox is injured?
Yeah, just because Fox is injured. Yeah,
we I'm sorry, David. Thank you, because I heard you as radio's up there.
Radio's up.
Yeah. But yeah, Fox being injured, and then also Barnes Lyles front court is a little cumbersome,
clunky.
ponderous.
Yeah, a little clunky.
Especially when they're going small.
Yeah, I maybe you could make that a rotation. You could bring that in as, maybe a couple minutes of that, but I don't necessarily think that that's how you need to start the game. Again, we talked about this with Kyle when me and Kyle were having the discussion of whether or not they should insert Davion Mitchell into the starting lineup. I think it's a good idea for Davion to be in for defensive purposes for what he does on Steph. But at the same time, I just think if you can get Kevin Huerter going in one of these games, especially early, I just think that that's such a huge benefit for what it can do for your team the rest of the game, with his spacing, with his gravity. I just think that that's really way too important if you can get Kevin to get off to that good start, but we haven't seen it. So, maybe, I would say maybe in game 7, but I don't think in game 7 these changes are happening. I would be surprised if we see something that drastic at this late of a stage.
To me, the most interesting thing of everything Dave said was just the notion of Fox. If he's struggling, does that mean, hey, do you have to say, we got to sit him down in the fourth quarter last night? Do they need to say, that's not Fox, we need to sit him down? I don't know
think so.
Going forward.
I don't think so.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Mike Brown says, kitchen sink is ready. What would you have in it? That's next year. It's Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast looking at bright sunshine. Plan for a very warm afternoon. Looking at a high today of 92 degrees with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Feel and hear the power of America's muscle cars and more at the Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Enjoy the open race panic and be immersed among the teams. From the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of turn 1, it's 3 days of racing thrills for the whole family. For tickets, call 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. The Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is bringing you Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary. This is my 27th year in the comedy business,
and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
Saturday, May 6th at Gold Country Casino Resort. 2 shows at 7 and 9:30 p.m. Larry the Cable Guy.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Hey, Scott, you look great. Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job. No, there's something different about the way you look. To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure. No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that? Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens have announced that they have come to an agreement for a 5-year contract with quarterback Lamar Jackson. Earlier in this offseason, the Ravens placed a non-exclusive franchise tag on the quarterback, allowing him to negotiate with other teams. But it appears now that they have their quarterback for the long term. Sacramento Kings lost the first home game of the series against the Warriors last night, 123-116. The series now goes back to San Francisco, where the Kings will try to get the win to bring a Game 7 back to Sacramento. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. The NFL draft starts tonight, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers will not be on the board in the first round. Unless there is a trade, the Niners will not make their first pick until tomorrow when they have the 99th pick overall. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Whitey and Watkins.
Well, I hate to say this, but just talking to Chris a moment ago and talking to you all afternoon long here on Sactown Sports, hearing your calls, comments, seeing your YouTube comments, I think some Kings fans are almost starting to delve into the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, grief.
Yeah. And it is far too early for that.
Yes, it is. There's still hope. There's still
Yes.
time. And again, like every game is its own unique game. We just saw Golden State take one at Golden One Center.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State has not been good on the road all year long. And, that crowd was incredible last night. And
it just don't look good when your best player has a busted finger that rendered him ineffective last night in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He was not able to get it done.
That was
So, Chris, you're in the first stage, denial.
Yes, I am in the first stage, denial.
See,
it's
that's
not
good.
over.
But that doesn't mean you're in denial. People
No.
who say, no, it's not over yet, that doesn't mean you're in denial. You could be right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what someone with denial would say.
There's denial. There's anger. Have we heard any anger today?
We've seen some anger.
Yeah.
We've seen some anger today in the comments for sure. We haven't really gotten too many angry callers, but
No, we've some angry Domas comments.
Yes.
Bargaining, which I never quite understood, but that's one. And then depression, and then eventually acceptance. But we don't have to worry about any of that yet.
No, not yet.
Because this thing is not over.
It's not over. It's not. It's just not. Again, like I will keep pointing to Game 4 as a prime example why if the Kings just get a couple more stops.
Just get a couple more stops.
Obviously, the Harrison Barnes shot, if that goes in. But I think the Kings played well enough in Game 4. And I'm not saying you could just copy and paste that performance into Game 6. But the fact that they felt confident enough, they feel good in that building where that's not a guarantee that you can travel to Chase Center and be able to still perform at a high level, again, in your team's first playoffs. The fact that they had that performance does have me feeling positively about their chances. However, it can, it can also end
Did you hear what
I'm aware.
what Draymond said after Harrison Barnes missed that shot at the end of game 4?
Yeah, we've seen that before.
We've seen that movie before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one hurt. That one Draymond did not. That was a low blow for Mr. Draymond Green, and I know he's been exchanging some blows with Harrison Barnes. Well, though it's kind of been one-sided recently, but yeah, we've also seen that before.
By the way, first round playoff coverage on Sactown Sports is brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Speaking of quality people, Ken's with us on Sactown Sports. How are you, Ken?
Pretty good, Whitey. Thanks for having me on. You know, this reminds me, for Kings fans who may be a little young, this reminds me of the first round series they had against Utah years ago when they had to learn how to play in the playoffs against a veteran team. And I'm not giving up on Game 6. I truly believe that the Kings can go down and win Game 6 if they shoot the ball better. But I just see the similarities between this in terms of a young team learning what it takes come playoff time. And I think this team has demonstrated time and time again in this series that they're not afraid of the Warriors. When the Warriors get on the lead, the Kings come right back at them. And I think this is really about makes and misses. The last night, the Warriors made some incredible shots coming down the stretch. I just think given the same opportunities, the Kings can do the same thing again. I still see this going 7 games. I still say we got a chance.
I love to hear
Thank
it.
you, Ken.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
He's right. Got to make your shots, as we said. That's the number one answer on our YouTube chat poll. What's job one? You got to make your shots. And you got to take care of the stinking basketball.
So
Against the Warriors in a closeout game last night. That was the one thing about last night. And I know the Kings had a lot working against them, especially with Fox and his finger. There's not a lot you could do about it. But they turned the ball over 19 times.
Yeah, that's tough. And, you know, Ken is completely right, too, in mentioning that, you know, sometimes, you've been saying it as well, that you have to go through these things as a part of your journey, right? Like it's very unfortunate, but failure is part of the journey. It's part of the steps to success. Like Giannis said, it's you have to, unfortunately, you have to go through bad times in order to eventually really get success. Not many people, if anybody, just again, the Kings also, we can't lose sight, 16 years. This organization hasn't been in this spot. The fact that they're here, the fact that they showed up, they've been competitive. Again, series is still not over, but these are just the things that they've accomplished so far this year. Can't lose sight of that. This is just a building. However, this season, even if they win this series, it's already a learning lesson that they can take forward. This season has just been it's step one, and hopefully a lot more steps that hopefully lead to real title contention for this team. But this is still just a learning experience.
If I may, I got to share a story with you about that series that Ken was talking about. It was 1999, and it was the lockout year, and the Kings were, 27-23?
Yes, just looked it up.
And they hadn't been in the playoffs since 96. They'd only been in the playoffs twice ever, and they're playing the stinking Utah Jazz in the first round.
Ugh.
So with Jay Will and Webb and Vlade, and just a great, fun team to watch playing the Jazz. I was like, oh, my goodness, can they compete with these guys? First game, I believe, was on a Saturday. And this is the worst excuse I've ever heard for missing a game as a fan. And I have a friend, and he's a really good friend of mine, and I was in a band with him and everything. So we're really good friends, but I tell this story all the time because I can't believe it. So it was that Saturday. It's a first game. It's the Kings and the Jazz. Oh, my goodness, you have to see this game. This is incredible. You know, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Jay Will. It's like, hey, where are you watching the game? Let's just say his name was John, for example. Just grabbing that out of thin air. John, where are you watching the game? I'm not watching the game. That's inexcusable. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not watching the game?
Yeah, I didn't ask that.
A year earlier, we have a dog, and a year earlier, the dog and all his littermates were born, and they're having a birthday party for all the puppies, and we're going to the park for the puppy 1-year birthday party. So I'm not going to watch the game.
This is also in 1999, before cell phones existed, so you couldn't just do that and then watch the game on your phone either.
I will say John was ahead of his time because
Really?
that's something that happens like now. Like if he said like, oh, this is 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, I guess that's a thing now. I never would have thought those were going on in 1999.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Right. That is very, very ahead of the game that people were having dog birthday party, like a full on party.
Yeah, that'd be like if you said, oh, he's having his gender reveal party.
Yes, right.
I give him credit. He could have made up some excuse. Yeah, somebody's sick, but no, yeah, we're having the 1 year puppy party for our dogs.
What if that was a lie? What if it's actually something that's a lot more embarrassing
That's
than
impossible.
that?
That's impossible, isn't it?
Do we know? And he actually went through with that plan, correct? Do we know that he? Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
yes. He
Okay.
went through with it. But then I think it worked
Well-
out because I think the Kings got destroyed in that game, but then they won the next game. So it
Oh,
kind of worked out. But to this day, in my mind, that is the worst fan excuse I've ever heard for missing a big game.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'm sorry, John, but
Or whatever
that's
his
not-
name was.
or whatever his name.
The dogs won't realize that it's their birthday.
Right, exactly. Ooh, so true, Chris. So true. Right, the dog's not going to remember that.
Well, Rami's going to join us. We'll see what his level of Kings faith is today. And also, Chris has his story time. So we got all that to come. A lot of pizza left in the box here on Chris and Company, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Hey, Sacramento, while you're watching the playoffs, don't get stuck on the bench in a warm house. Fox Family Heating and Air can get you cooling fast with most parts backed by a lifetime warranty.
Fox Family Heating and Air.
Keeping you company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
So the question is for sports fans tonight, NBA playoffs, Hawks and the Celtics, or the NFL draft. Let's see which way Rami is going. He joins us now, getting ready for Rami and Cattle's playoffs tonight.
Yes.
And I guess, let's see. I don't know what's on Food Network. There's probably something good that I'm missing.
There's got to be something good, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Thursday.
I know there was a new episode of Guys Grocery Games last night, so I didn't get a chance to watch it, so that's waiting for me on the old DVR.
All right,
you know
good to have things to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody comedy fans, John Mulaney's new special.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Is that going to be on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
NFL draft, Hawks, Celtics.
I'm not a huge draft guy.
Yeah.
Not a big draft guy. I'm like, it's not that I don't care about the draft, but the show of the draft doesn't do anything for me. Like when I see who gets drafted and I go to my laptop or my phone and I start cramming and learning as much as I can about these guys and the draft as a whole. But the whole show of it, man, and
it's so pointless.
It's really not that entertaining to me.
Just drafts.
I'm gonna be real.
It feels like, especially with Twitter, like you learn the picks you're 3 picks ahead on Twitter anyways. It's like what's even the point of watching the broadcast?
Yeah, you asked which one, Whitey, and honestly, I mean, I have the 2 TVs in the living room, so I'll probably have the NBA game on one, but on the other one.
And that's an early game.
On the other one, it might be Guys Grocery Games.
Yeah.
Honestly, something else. I don't know. I'm going to be real. I'm just follow the draft on Twitter. I don't know if I'm sportsed out or just sour on the NBA playoffs after what happened yesterday to both the teams that I have a rooting interest in.
Oh,
where's your faithometer right now? Your Kings faithometer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are we doing a 1 to 10?
You could do any which way
shades
you want.
Of purple.
We had shades of purple earlier.
Violet.
I was kind of paisley.
Indigo. I don't know if indigo is.
I need a color chart or like the tiles. You know, the samples that
swatches.
You get like a little swatch. Yeah. On a 1 to 10, I don't know. I like a 2 or 3. Yeah. I said whoever won that game yesterday was going to win this series. I said that going in.
Don't like that.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the Kings did not win.
What?
No, they didn't win.
We should have mentioned that.
Oh, that's a good point, huh? Writing that one down for tomorrow.
And people are you'll find out soon enough. People are angry. People are angry.
Yeah, me too. I'm angry. I'm sad. I don't like this. I don't like basketball anymore.
Into like the 5 stages of
stupid.
Of grief.
Everything is stupid.
Stages of stupid.
Yeah.
People are angry at Sabonis.
What stage of grief is that when you just go, everything is stupid?
Sounds like anger.
I'm mad.
That's anger. I think that's step 2.
That's a legitimate one. I think they're going different orders, I think. But
and I guess that's where I am.
Yeah.
I know
it's stupid and I don't like it.
You spent some time in Milwaukee.
Yes,
how's the temperature over there?
Oh, they are not handling this well, Chris.
Not, right? I saw Giannis. We were talking earlier about Giannis's statements and him saying that this isn't necessarily a failure. Is that going over well over there? I'd imagine.
Some people get it, some people don't. But overall, I think most of the heat is going towards Coach Budenholzer.
No pun intended.
Hey, how about that?
Come on now.
Pun was not intended.
No.
Did you see that was tied with a fraction of time left and they didn't call timeout in regulation?
Half a second left.
Yeah. I think it was like half a second, but still, in regulation, you call timeout, advance the ball, who knows? They didn't call a timeout.
Yeah, that might be it for Coach Bud, especially with like a guy like Nick Nurse out there. That seems like a nice little plug.
My buddy, when the game went final, you can see this right. He texted me, "Fire Bud 8."
Just literally fire Bud, and then sent you a tweet probably that also says fire Bud.
Yes, that was him admitting to not calling the timeout with half a second left. he says, if this doesn't get you bleeping fired, I don't know what will. So
valid point.
That's how they're handling it out there.
Gotcha.
To answer your
So
question.
you think things are not going well here? Could be a lot worse.
I heard what Yana said. It sounds like kind of a failure to me. I don't know. You keep using that word. Maybe it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that was that didn't feel good last night. None of that felt
rough
good
basketball night.
It was a bad basketball night, but I had fun. I was having fun while all that was going on. I was at the Punchline with Lance Woods.
Yes,
having a good time.
Did that go well?
It went very well.
Cool.
People
Good.
actually showed up, which
Love it when that happens.
Lance and I were both unsure if that would
Really?
happen.
Oh, right. Yeah, true. Right. With the game happening.
And
yeah.
You know what else would make you feel better?
What's that?
Story time with Chris.
Always makes me feel better.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlaud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
Gentlemen,
What are?
how about we go to Frankfurt, Germany?
Yeah.
This is from
good.
This is from the AP. So, if the landlord of your office building sunbathes naked in the courtyard of that building, should the office be able to pay a reduced rent?
Is it in the lease?
This
That's not in the lease. If you don't have an agreement that,
So no?
No, you have to pay full rent.
Yeah.
That guy owns the joint, man. He can naked sunbathe wherever he wants, I would imagine. No?
The German court agrees with you, Rami.
Oh.
See?
The building is in an upmarket residential district.
I know law, guys.
Oh, yeah, you're the first person I go to.
Yeah.
So the office floor is being rented by a human resources company. The company withheld rent because it objected to several things, including the landlord's naked sunbathing. The landlord then sued the company for not paying their rent. The court said that the spot where the landlord sunbathed could only be seen from the rented office by leaning far out the window.
Oh, so they're trying to see. He's not doing this to be seen.
The tenant also failed to prove that the landlord took the stairs to the courtyard unclothed. The court made a point to say, on the contrary, the plaintiff credibly stated that he always wore a bathrobe, which he only took off just before the sun lounger.
Yeah, I think I don't think he's in the wrong at all.
It's a very weird thing to do, but I don't know if it's illegal, or I guess it's not a matter of legality, but I guess it's not.
Pay your rent.
Yeah, I don't nude sunbathe, but it's not that uncommon a thing.
Especially in Germany. I think it's everywhere, right?
In Europe, yeah.
Maybe not at an office place, but maybe if it were residential.
All right, let's move now to Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay.
This is according to America TV. Last Wednesday, 2 armed robbers entered a local travel agency, attacked the staff, and took off with hundreds of thousands of pesos. As soon as the attackers left, the victims called the police. About 10 minutes later, 3 police officers arrived on the scene, interviewed the employees, and took off after the suspects. Good, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what
like
you want.
Police work.
Police work right there.
They also took something else. The employees noticed that after the police had left, a bag containing about 4 million pesos that the robbers had missed was gone. The boss at the agency said that the police must have taken the bag as evidence. But when they called, they were told that there was no bag of money.
Funny how that happens.
Once prosecutors found out, they demanded the arrest of the officers. They have been detained, and the bag full of money was found in one of the suspects' homes.
Oh, they did find the money.
The other 2 officers denied playing a part in the robbery and claimed they did not know the officer was taking the money and they had no part of the stealing. It should be mentioned that the officers noticed the video camera in the elevator and instead took the stairs. Unfortunately for them, also had a camera.
You would think cops, they know how people get caught not do that.
They still have such a thing as a travel agency? Those
in
exist?
Argentina. Well, Argentina is a little different from what I understand. That is also why they would have so much cash on hand.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you change your money. You don't go to the bank.
I honestly don't know if 4 million pesos is a lot.
I was thinking that too. I was like, is that like $400?
They're having quite a large problem with inflation there. It comes out to about $19,000.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not 4 million.
If somebody handed me a bag full of $19,000, I'd be happy.
I'll tell you that.
So that is story time.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Rami, as if we didn't know, what do you guys have coming up?
You know. we'll
Come on, people need you to
yeah,
pick them up today.
What am I going to do?
Let's get ready for not only Game 6, but Game 7.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be there, Whitey. I don't know. Today
I'm gonna have to look for Nick for the excitement for today's
I don't know
show.
if Nick's got it in him too.
Yeah.
Rummy, best thing probably isn't to say, "Hey guys, take this one off." You don't have to listen to him.
All right, Cattles and Rami will ease your purple pain. Hopefully next Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100